We, the North, are now we, the champions. The Raptors, the 2019 NBA champs.
3-2. Here it is! The Washington Nationals are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Let the good times roll. LSU sits on the throne of college football.
And this one is over. Kansas City has won their first Super Bowl in 50 years.
Now, here are your hosts for Sports 56 Middays, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a piece of land out in the countryside. Lay back and smell the sun. Warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some
Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Happy hump day to you. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Gabe Kuhn here on this Wednesday, June 17th, 2020. It's Sports 56 Middays time from the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Family Leisure is here to make staying at home more enjoyable for you and your family this summer. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor. That's FedEx. No matter what stage you're at in your business, there's room to grow online. Learn more at fedex.com/e-commerce. And again, a big thank you to all the terrific folks at the FedEx Corporation for being a part of our show each and every day and for everything they're doing on the front lines in this battle for COVID-19. And there's a lot of news as far as that is concerned with that virus. We got a very busy show planned for you. In just a few moments, we'll be joined by the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Dan Quinn. The Falcons just made it known that they will celebrate Juneteenth this Friday. Their offices will be closed. That's something that's catching fire around the NFL, and I think all teams will eventually be celebrating that. Javonte Holmes is going to join us at 11:25, our friend from East High School, the East High School coach who's also put together these pickup games with Ja Morant and with Moussa Cisse and with about 10, 15, 20 of the terrific young players in high school in the area. And we will talk to him about how he put that together, how it's going on, how the guys look, and things of that nature. But Javonte Holmes at 11:25. At 12:25, it'll be our four-man scramble, week number 2. We'll be joined by Keith Pankey from Ridgeway Country Club, Jay Hasselman from Edwin Watts, and give you a chance to win a gift card to Edwin Watts and be in the drawing for our grand prize golf for 4 at Ridgeway Country Club. Our 5 favorite songs category today is The Devil. A song needs to contain the word devil in the title. And you can text the lists in at the First Bank text line or on the First Bank text line at 67129. You can also watch us live, message us with those lists or any other comments you have at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Instagram. Good morning, Eli.
Good morning, Greg.
So here's what we got going on. First, the bad news. The Southern Heritage Classic has been canceled. And that's the second time in 3 years for Fred Jones and the gang at the Southern Heritage Classic to lose the game. It was first weather, I guess 3 years ago or 2 years ago. Then they played last year. And now it has already been announced the cancellation of one of the great events in Memphis, where they bring in thousands of people for not only the game, but just for the festivities. And now it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. But with that game, and as you said, not just the game portion of it, but all the other festivities that draw large crowds of people together, just tough to do that. And so, unfortunately, having to cancel that game, it's tough for the folks here organizing the game. Tough for the teams, obviously, to not be able to play that game, which is such a great game for them. It's really unfortunate.
Also, the news from yesterday around Shelby County, not good. As we talked about yesterday on the show, there's been an increase in the positive tests for COVID-19 and, unfortunately, some hospitalizations. And while we were trending very, very nicely, moving forward and getting seemingly better, now the numbers don't equate to that. And now there is a mandate by the mayor of Memphis, Jim Strickland, for Memphis and Shelby County, that mandates you wear a mask. So now there are exceptions. If you're in a bar or restaurant and you're eating, obviously you're not wearing that mask. But when you now go inside to Lowe's or Kroger or to wherever, you have to wear a mask. So it's a step backwards, Eli.
Yeah, I mean they're doing their best. I think there's some disagreement, but they're going to do this and see if this can kind of slow this spike that we've been seeing here over the last couple of days. We've had a huge increase, 250 something one day and nearly 200 yesterday new cases of COVID-19. So it's delayed the move to phase 3, and they're seeing if this mandating people wear masks. Although the enforcement of that is I don't really know what it is other than like, hey, put a mask on. Mm-hmm. We'll see if that can help us get to phase 3 of the reopening plan. Yeah,
that's going to be interesting to see how many adhere to that, but certainly it's something that needs to be done with the numbers going up. People have to think about their fellow man. It's not just about themselves. It's about everybody around them. So it's not that hard. There are a lot of ways to get the masks. If you don't have them already, wear them. Help your fellow man. Help the numbers go down as we try to get back to some sort of normalcy. Well, it is our pleasure to be joined by a friend of the show. We've had Dan on a couple of times in the past. He's the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. He is Dan Quinn. You can follow him on Twitter at FalconsDQ. It's a very busy time, and we appreciate Dan taking a few minutes of his time to join us. Dan, hopefully you're doing well. How are you?
Man, it's good to be on with you guys. Always nice to jump on. I'm doing well. We are back in the office to a certain degree. That means the coaching side. So hitting some last-minute projects together before we, get, everybody ready for training camp. But it's been an unusual off season, but one that's been filled with growth and opportunities and different things we've done. So a little bit of both. It was challenging and the ability to grow all at the same time.
Yeah, it's been absolutely incredible what we've seen, starting with COVID-19 shutting down basically the country and the world for that matter. And then over the last few weeks, the importance of the Black Lives Matter March. And you were right in the middle of that, marching with people in Atlanta, your team, but also important figures in that city, because we know of the unrest that happened there, not only there, at many cities around the country. And it was announced this morning that you guys are going to celebrate Juneteenth this Friday with the offices closed. So, Dan, can you shed a little light on how you guys are handling and trying to work with everybody in that community as we try to find equality?
Well, I think, going back to, being involved with the March for Black Lives Matter and really to address racism. And I think what was, rewarding was it was really inspiring to see so many diverse people who are no longer accepting the things they thought, well, I couldn't change that, but instead are totally committed to the things. It's like, hey, I'm no longer going to stand for this. Enough's enough, and I want to help and be part of the change. And so that was really inspiring to see, and I think we'll continue to see that moving forward. I'm hopeful that, this 2020 is going to be a before and after moment in a lot of regards, from COVID to social injustice topics that just, no longer is it okay. And so we had said it, you can't fix everything and do everything, but that's no excuse for doing nothing. And so it's been inspiring to see so many groups, getting together and wanting to, to participate for real, meaningful change.
What of the conversations you had, or have you had conversations with your guys about the national anthem and kneeling? And is that a thing that has come up amongst your players with you?
It hasn't come up yet. They know for, if they choose to peacefully protest in whatever way, then I support them 100. And so whatever that looks like and however they would want to do that. So, but we haven't gotten together in that space to talk what we're going to do. Our first steps were probably more immediate than into the season. And so being involved with, where you can help. And I'm sure for all of us, some of the things like, what can I do? That was a lot of the questions, from whether it was a white player, a black player, coach, support, and saying they want in, what can I do? And the first one was listening. And just being involved and knowing, okay, so we have a better understanding of where we're at and what we can do. So I think that was incredibly important. I think under the surface, people were hurting, people were pissed and angry, and we weren't ready even to, take the action yet. That's our, role as coaches, right? When there's a problem, okay, what do we want to do about it? And then we're now into that space of taking action. I think, what can I do or what can you do? It's like, help change the room that you're in. And that could be home, school, locker room, wherever it is. It could be a group of 3 or 4 people or a group of, hundreds. And so I think that's, to me, where it starts. We had our mayor on, who just been so impressive for us, over the last month. She was on with our team. She spoke about toughness and resiliency. And so I asked her to speak to the team. So we're making, plans, but I would say at this space, we're taking action as we're moving forward, but not anything down the line regarding the season yet. We're just kind of staying in the here and now and seeing what we can do together.
Atlanta Falcons head coach Dan Quinn joining us on the program. You're absolutely right about your mayor. I think she's a shining star, and one day the sky's the limit, I think, for her. I think one day you may see her in the Oval Office. Let's talk about the season and what the expectations are when camp opens up. I assume that as long as we don't have a negative trajectory, and we've had some alarming numbers over the last few days, as you know, Dan. Hopefully camp will open up on time. And what's the projection for the season to start on time, with fans, without fans? What are you guys talking about between the walls?
Yeah, that's definitely a big topic, because you want to make sure that you're, ready for contingencies when they happen, but not doing so many things that you're chasing. What about this? And what about that? So we're trying to make sure we can look at the guidelines. So think about even, inside the building, where you're at. How does that look like? Getting to practice on the field, we know what that looks like, and that feels great and normal. But how do you do a meeting with, 100 people? And so right now, is that split up? Do you use the indoor facility? Do you have enough spacing to do that? Those are topics that come up to go. And so what I try to do is just keep the staff and the team updated on things that I know. And I sense that we'll learn some things moving forward too. We're hopefully going to see basketball rolling and baseball and others to say where we can learn some examples. But I trust, the guidance of the medical professionals. Those are the guys that really know it, and we're going to follow them. But as far as, fans and no fans and how many preseason games, when to start, all those, I'm just trying to stay the course, man, of like, how do we get the team ready? I think here more than ever, you better be ready to be like a rapid adjusting, moving, because it's going to change. We know that over the last 3 months, don't we? That whatever we thought, it's going to change. At first, March 13th, I think, is when I left the building here. I said, okay, if this goes on for 2 weeks, imagine that. Yeah, 2 weeks, 3 months later, I was online. So we just know that you better be able to adjust and change. And I think the teams in any sport that are best at adjusting and moving on the fly and reacting when a player, has to be out for COVID and for however long that is. And so let's count, and it could be coaches too. Think of like, play calling on game day, or in football or in basketball, a head coach, or an assistant coach who takes on those additional roles. So I think layering it out made sense to me, and planning for some of that, but just being ready to adjust, man, and staying ready to adjust, because I just think that is going to happen.
As far as on the field stuff goes, you guys made the move to get Todd Gurley, a guy who's just a few years away from being an offensive player of the year, certainly extremely talented. Everybody down in that area knows him from his college days as well. What made that? What made him a good fit for you guys right now? What are you excited about with Todd Gurley?
Well, I think when you're evaluating, pro players, it's, you get a chance to see him against other teams. What made it even better for us is from a scheme standpoint, really what the Rams do offensively and a lot of what we do, it'd be a lot of the same thing. So we could really see Todd in those roles, wide zone for us, where we're, really trying to stretch the defense and create cutback opportunities, catching the ball out of the backfield. Those are things that, we saw him do, and we're going to try and feature him in those ways of the things that he does best. So it's been a good addition for us. Building that relationship without him being here is more challenging. Getting a chance to know him, over, Zoom or Microsoft Team calls and phone calls. So those are the ones that's challenging, but that's the challenge. We're excited that he's part of our team. And once we get everybody together here, I'm looking forward to putting them all on the field together. Good news, a lot of the players have worked out together like you hope they would way back when we started the off-season program, I had mentioned to them they're going to have to be player coaches for a while, where on the field work, they're ready to take that step to go. And so they've had many sessions together, as players without the coaches. And I think that's a real sign of leadership on the team when they're ready to take that on.
Yeah, and you hope you get that from professionals, and that's exactly what you're getting with the Falcons. Dan, last year, 4 straight wins to end the season, so you guys really got it rolling at the end of the season, and then, of course, all the chaos of COVID-19. But can you pick up where you left off and talk a little bit about, here in the final moments, how this team looks, the other acquisitions that you feel that you can compete in a very tough division?
Yep, and I think you guys would probably agree, I think in the NFL anyway, each team, there's a 1-year shelf life. In the NBA, I think you guys covered the team. That can change. You can keep the team together from year to year. But the NFL, that's not the case, where there is new people in draft and how do we add players to the group. So the thing that came together for this team was the way they played complementary football together, offensively, defensively, field position, get a turnover, score. And really in the first half of 2019, that wasn't the case. So there were huge lessons, for a group, because it's always, painful and disappointing when you don't, meet the marks that you want to. But fortunately for us, leadership-wise from the player side, really stepped in guys like Julio and Matt Ryan and Grady Jarrett, just said, okay, this is how we're going to go about this. Is the train's rolling, man, so get on. And that was really cool to see. So those are things that can carry over. Now, how do we add guys like Hayden Hurst and Todd Gurley and Fowler into that group? And that's what this offseason's been about, those relationships and growing them. And that's the part, right now that you miss, that you don't get to. But hopefully, at training camp, we'll be able to have those relationships grow and build. But having the players work out together away from the complex, that certainly helped that.
Big challenge for not only you guys, but look, it's a big challenge for everybody in every walk of life. That's just the world we're living in right now and the country we're living in. Dan, really appreciate your time as always. We'll be looking forward to when you guys get back on the field and play some football this fall.
Well, always enjoy being on with you, man. Class act always, and keep doing it, man. And hopefully next time we talk, we'll be halfway into good football and having fun and kicking ass and doing all the things we like to do,
Sounds great, Dan. Stay well. Take
all
care.
Right. See you.
Good stuff. Dan Quinn, old friend of mine from back in my Eastern Shore of Maryland days. How about that? He was a defensive lineman for then Salisbury State, now Salisbury University, and was a team captain for 2 years. So you knew he had.
Were they the Stakes?
They were the Seagulls. The Seagulls, not the Salisbury Steaks.
Stakes would be a much better nickname.
It would be. But Seagulls, because they are everywhere on the Eastern Shore, especially when you get closer to Ocean City and the seaports around Maryland and Delaware. But he's a great guy, and we appreciate him joining us from time to time. But, yeah, they ended the season really, really strong because he was in trouble there for a while.
He saved his job.
He saved his job, and now you have a team with Todd Gurley hoping to find Todd Gurley's old self, which would be an incredible acquisition if Todd Gurley is 90% of his old self. But you're playing in a division that is extremely tough, and now you have one Tom Brady, who will be playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so they're going to be playing them twice. You always have a challenge with Carolina and Christian McCaffrey, and we know what the Saints can do. So a really strong division. So I asked the guys, and we'll do this when we come back. I asked the guys, since we were going to have Dan Quinn on the show, who they think are, and in order, the top 10 current NFL coaches. In order, not looking for some all-time thing. We're not looking for something that we're just right now for upcoming 2020. Who are the 10 best coaches in the National Football League? So we'll get their thoughts on that. Also, we gave you some bad news earlier. We'll give you some good news that's happening around the area. And we'll also talk about the NBA. And yesterday, news left and right about what the rules and regulations will be like when the players return and head down to the bubble at Disney World. Pretty incredible stuff. We will discuss. Just underway on a Monday. A Wednesday. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
I've always wanted to learn another language, but every time I try, it never sticks. So I decided to give Babbel a try, and I really like the teaching method of the app. I started with the beginner lesson on Babbel, and it starts with simple words and phrases, and soon you're putting those words into a conversation. Each lesson takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and they're all really different, which keeps things interesting. The app is really smart. It actually keeps track of the words I'm struggling with so I can practice them and get better. I chose Babbel because it was created by real language teachers. They built it around real life, how people actually communicate, and what they care about. I can't wait to use my new language skills in the real world. Dos cervezas, por favor.
With Babbel, get conversational in Spanish, French, German, and more. It just takes 10 to 15 minutes a day. Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com or download the Babbel app and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com, Babbel.com.
I'm John Conway with Conway Services. Do you have to add Freon to your air conditioner every summer? Good news, it's Super Tune-Up time at Conway Services. We'll come out and perform our exclusive 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your air conditioning system for only $69 with a Freon leak check. That's right, Conway Services exclusive 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up for only $69 with a Freon leak check. We'll remove years of dirt, grime, and leaves from your air conditioning system. It's like taking your air conditioner to a car wash, all for only $69. If you have an air conditioner that leaks Freon every year, with Conway Services Super Tune-Up, we'll include a leak check at no charge. If that's not enough, we'll treat your unit with a special Teflon coating to help protect against the hot Memphis sun. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. Call this week and we'll perform your Super Tune-Up for only $57.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Plasma donations are needed now more than ever, and you can make a difference during these unprecedented times. Plasma Biological Services is seeking healthy donors as well as those who have fully recovered from COVID-19. Your plasma may be used to help those still fighting the virus. If you have tested positive for COVID-19 and have fully recovered, please call 866-END-CV19 or go to grifolsplasma.com. That's GRIFOLS plasma.com today to see how your plasma can help save others that are hospitalized with COVID-19 and if you are eligible to donate. All donors will be compensated for their time. Please call 866-END-CV19 or go to grifolsplasma.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
And now a game of commercial chicken brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Oh, hi. Okay, guess we should talk about something. Kind of tough to be put on the spot. Not sure what to say. But I know what I'm definitely not talking about. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Let's do it.
Let me drop it on the one. It's the Fat Max. Dope like an A-ball. That's why people call me that.
Welcome back. 10:25 is the time. We thank Atlanta Falcons head coach Dan Quinn for joining us today on the program. We're going to talk about NFL head coaches in just a few moments. I want to remind everybody that we are back on the road for the first time in a long time. We're going to have the show on the road Friday at Frontier Western Store down in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Eli, despite things that are still going on, and we're going to be very cautious, and you and I guess we'll sit 6 feet apart, but we're going to be on the road. It's about time.
Yep, we're getting back out there. Of course, with Father's Day coming up this weekend, always a big time for Frontier Western Store. So we're going to be down there. We're going to be giving away prizes and doing some things, but we're going to be taking precautions and making sure that we do things as safely as possible. Moe's will have some burrito boxes there, so it's easy to just come in, grab one, go on without anybody else touching those. So it's not like it's a buffet or anything. It's just going to be a box with a burrito and some chips and things in it that you can grab each one individually. So we're going to get back out on the road and have our safety precautions in place. But we urge people to come on by, say hello, get a chance to win some prizes, and grab some lunch from Moe's, and of course check out what's going on out at Frontier Western Store.
All right, so we started off the show, unfortunately, with some bad news with the cancellation of the Southern Heritage Classic and the mandatory masks now in Shelby County. But here's some positive news. The official ribbon cutting took place today on the University of Memphis indoor football facility. And on hand was Laird Veach and Dr. David M. David Rudd, Ryan Silverfield, J.J. Russell of the Tigers, and Cato Johnson. And they were all, I think, 6 feet apart. I didn't measure. But the official ribbon cutting took place on this unbelievable facility, which, again, puts Memphis, in position. Look, it's not going to be comparable to some of the indoor facilities you see around the SEC and some of the Power Fives, but others it certainly is. So it is a step that was really needed. As hot as it gets in Memphis for those players, it's torture out there. So to be able to have this indoor facility when it's the lightning, and it comes often in the summer because of the heat and humidity, it's fantastic. Here's some notes on the facility. 78,000 square feet, cost $11.2 million, NFL-level grass turf for the field turf that they use. There's a scoreboard at the south end zone, viewing catwalk from the coach's suite, 2 video platforms. The entire complex takes up 1.8 acres. The facility could hold 16 basketball courts, 78,000 square feet, as I mentioned. It's 20 times larger than an IMAX screen. But again, Eli, the importance of the indoor facility is immeasurable.
Yeah, this is, they had a little video that went along with it. And as Laird Veach talked about in there, he said, this is just, if you're going to be a top 25 program, which they now view themselves as, you got to have facilities like this just to keep yourselves, keep that playing field level with those teams that you are competing with, whether it be in recruiting or just on the field. The teams that, if you're going to be a top 25 program, these are the things you have to have within your program.
Mm-hmm. So congratulations. I know it's been a long time in the making. Nice.
Hey, man. That was
Where
that
do all
was
those
being,
people come from?
That was being I don't know, man. They're not social distance. We are though. But it's been a long time coming on that indoor. They were selling me that when I was getting recruited to Memphis.
You had to go through all those tumultuous.
Many before you, I think, were being.
Yes, that thing's been in the works for a long time.
There's generations of players, I think, that have been told that there was an indoor facility coming, and I guess now they can say, "See, I wasn't."
I guess we had to, they had to get good first, and then
they had to get the money.
Once the money started flowing.
But you had to deal, you personally, with the tumultuous heat and humidity of Memphis in August and camp.
Oh, they're still going to have to deal with that.
Well, they're going to, but at least now they have this option when it's threatening weather-wise to go inside. Do you think there'll be times when they actually go inside because of the humidity or only because of the threat of lightning and bad weather?
Mostly lightning, bad weather. The one thing that I will say is if it gets too hot on the turf outside, maybe they'll move it inside. I mean, the heat warnings and the dog days of fall camp might force them inside.
Okay, also some news, possibly good news, but it's okay right now. We talked about yesterday John Rothstein reporting that Memphis has emerged as a potential landing spot for Florida transfer Andrew Nembhard, who has 2 years of eligibility left and is a highly recruited point guard who came out of Canada. I'm being told it's down to Gonzaga and Memphis. That's what I'm being told. Duke is being considered, USC, according to John Rothstein, but I'm being told it's going to be coming down to Memphis or Gonzaga, and I believe a decision will be announced on Monday, unless Nembhard moves it up. But Monday, I think, is the projected time period to announce where he's going to transfer. And, of course, because he is not a grad transfer, he would have to sit out a year unless he got a waiver. And Memphis right now is waiting, of course, for two players that they have, who they have signed, Landers Nolly and DeAndre Williams, who have to get a waiver to be able to play. Okay, so we had Dan Quinn on the program, and I thought it'd be interesting if we just put our top 10 list together for current head coaches, who we think the best head coaches are in the National Football League. And Dan, who almost lost his job last year, was a defensive genius with the Seattle Seahawks, and that prompted the Falcons to go out there and hire him. And, of course, the Falcons were in the Super Bowl, and the rest is history, losing that huge lead to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. You notice I didn't bring up Brady to Dan Quinn. It's a sore subject. But let's go. Let's talk about our top 10. Eli, why don't you give us your first 5 in order, 1 through 5.
1 through 5. Number 1, a guy named Bill Belichick. I think he still holds that top spot. Number 2, Andy Reid. Number 3, John Harbaugh. Number 4, Sean Payton. Number 5, Pete Carroll.
Okay. Gabe?
Number 1, Bill Belichick. Just have to, I feel like. 2, Andy Reid. 3, John Harbaugh. 4, Mike Tomlin. 5, Sean Payton.
Okay, so we're all around the same. Belichick 1, Andy Reid 2, Sean Payton 3, Mike Tomlin 4, and I got Pete Carroll 5. So the one that I differ from you guys is Harbaugh, who I have 6th. I got John Harbaugh 6th. You got him in the top 5. Here's my 6 through 10. Harbaugh 6, Kyle Shanahan 7, Doug Peterson 8, Sean McVay 9, Mike Vrabel of the Titans 10. Gabe, 6 through 10?
I went 6-year extension Kyle Shanahan, Pete Carroll at 7, 8 Sean McVay, and then 9 and 10 I have. I imagine I'll be a lot different than you two. 9 I have Mike Zimmer of the Vikings.
Okay.
And 10 Frank Reich.
Yeah, I was thinking about Frank Reich, the former Maryland Terrapin.
It just
Eli
got awfully unlucky with the Andrew Luck thing.
Yeah, he's a good coach. There's no question. What do you got, Eli?
Number 6, Mike Tomlin. Number 7, Kyle Shanahan. Number 8, Sean McVay. Number 9, Bruce Arians. And number 10, we're just talking as coach here, not giving control of the franchise, Bill O'Brien.
Okay, so Bill O'Brien's an interesting one. I didn't give him much consideration. I certainly did Frank Reich, and I certainly did Bruce Arians. I don't know why I didn't give much consideration to Bill O'Brien. But you're right. He runs the show all around, making the decisions on personnel. And that's why maybe he gets a negative hit from many people, because you forget about what he can do with X's and O's. You're thinking about what he has done with personnel. And the DeAndre Hopkins
and obviously
trade
this
is still
offseason has not looked really good on Bill O'Brien as far as personnel moves go. But if you take that part out, I think Bill O'Brien is a really good coach.
Oh, I think he's a good coach. I didn't really give him the consideration maybe he deserved, but certainly the other names that weren't on my list by you two guys were guys that certainly I would consider. Now, did you both not have Doug Peterson?
I did not have Doug Peterson.
No Doug Peterson.
And what are your guys' thoughts on that? Because I had Doug Peterson at number 8. Go ahead, Gabe. You started off.
I don't know. I just didn't think he was much better than Mike Zimmer, Frank Reich. He's had a lot of talent. Did really well winning that one Super Bowl last year. I know we're talking about him dealing with a lot of injuries, but I have to see more out of Doug Peterson.
I mean, you lose your starting quarterback in Carson Wentz, and Nick Foles steps up and you win a Super Bowl, but Peterson's a quarterback. He's a former quarterback, so he's like Arians. Arians really knows the quarterbacks. I think Peterson's really strong with the quarterbacks. Where he's not strong is on the defensive side.
Yeah, I certainly considered him, and if I probably went to number 11, he would probably be number 11. Like he was the one other guy that I really seriously considered about putting in there. And And obviously, when you got a Super Bowl title, that certainly does mean a lot. But I think Arians and I think Bill O'Brien are just slightly better coaches who haven't maybe had what he's had to work with.
No, I agree. Anybody on the outside looking in that you think in a couple of years will definitely be a top 10er? Of course, Belichick will retire and Andy Reid eventually will retire, and some guys will have to fill those spots. But anybody like you go, man, they're moving up, but I just can't put them in the top 10 yet.
I think Vrabel would qualify for that for me. The guy that I think could end up being a top 10 guy in a couple of years. See what happens, with the Titans. I think I'm interested to see where Matt Nagy goes with the Bears. If they, without Mitch, if it is Nick Foles there, like with a different quarterback, what are they, and what could he do there? Certainly, I think Zimmer is a guy that is borderline top 10 as well. And Gabe had him on his list, so I think he would be another one that in a couple more years I could very well see that I would have him on a list.
Yeah, I think Reich is certainly a guy that is headed towards that top 10. Mike Vrabel's in my top 10 at number 10. I do like Matt Patricia a lot, but he's with the Lions, and I don't know what they can do in Detroit. Nobody wins there.
Sean McDermott's one that's interesting to me. It's very up and down. He's never really had a good offense. I don't think he really will either. I don't think Josh Allen's the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then Matt LaFleur. Let's keep an eye. Like I don't think his team was all that great last year, but they were 13-3. So I think we need to keep an eye on Matt LaFleur.
That is a good point as far as he's concerned. And then obviously, it's weird. You got a guy like Mike McCarthy who's back now, who has a Super Bowl title, and so you're trying to figure out where to put him in there.
Yeah,
if he goes to Dallas and has a lot of success there, he's going to put himself right back into a top 10.
Exactly, and because he had been out, it's hard for me going into this season to put him in the top 10. But he has been a proven winner. And I think the Cowboys made the right decision. I really do believe that he can help the Cowboys straighten out what's ailing them because they have an awful lot of talent.
Dark horse. I'm not going to say top 10 coach, but definitely a top half coach. Brian Flores. That's one I want to keep an eye on. Won the last 4 out of 5 games. Has a new quarterback ready to go. He's a defensive guy. I think that could be on the up and up.
I like Flores.
To win games with what they had last year at all, it's impressive. There are a lot of people thought they were going to go 0-16. To beat the Patriots in that final game, I think he absolutely actually gets some talent down there. I think he could certainly be a guy that you'll look at in a few years and put on that list.
Does anybody have faith in Cliff Kingsbury in the long run will be a big-time winner in the NFL?
I don't know.
I don't.
He wasn't a big-time winner in college football, so I'm not going to believe he's going to do it in the NFL.
Speaking of college coaches, did you guys see the tweets that came out yesterday? I don't know who did this, but they had the SEC coaches as women, as females. Did you see this, Gabe? Yes or no?
No, I did not.
So let me show this to you right here. Do you know who that is?
That would be Nick Saban.
That is
Nicky Saban.
That is Nick Saban. And by the way, Nick Saban, if you're going to have to grade him out, one of the top on this list, because there are some guys, Coach O as a female. If you guys haven't seen this stuff, you really have to. Saban doesn't look half bad, to be honest with you. But Coach oh my gosh. So check it out. Whoever comes up with this stuff, they're just genius. But it was funny watching that or looking at that. Okay, when we come back, the NBA, they're getting ready for resumption. It may not include all the players. And after all the rules and regulations that came out with this, 36-page or 33-page handbook, may not be there may be some other players that may not want to go down and participate in the Disney Resort. We will discuss that when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hertz. Weekdays from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Great news, sports fans. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse is now open for dine-in service. Make a reservation and enjoy a mouth-watering steak dinner. Or, if you prefer, take it curbside. In addition to their fantastic steaks, the Butcher Shop Steakhouse has a variety of entrees, including Canadian lobster tail, crab stuffed shrimp, pan-seared red snapper, and fresh ground steak burger with portobello mushroom sauce. Planning to cook out? The Butcher Shop Steakhouse offers a great selection of hand-cut fresh steaks, lamb chops, Atlantic salmon, and more. Father's Day is coming soon, so make your reservation for dine-in or pre-order for curbside pickup. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse, dine-in, curbside, and delivery. Call us at 757-4244 and visit our website, thebutchershop.com, for menus and more. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse, Walnut Grove and Germantown Parkway.
Just because you can boil water doesn't mean you should run a restaurant. Same logic goes for identity theft protection. You may be good at monitoring your credit, but that doesn't make you an authority. Plus, with data breaches that seem to happen more often, your personal info could end up anywhere. And with your breached info, criminals could commit identity theft, which is even more reason for you to use a pro. Because on your own, you could miss certain identity threats, like somebody taking out a payday loan in your name or selling your info on the dark web. That's why LifeLock sees a wide range of identity threats. Nobody prevents all identity theft or monitors all transactions at all businesses. But if you end up with an identity theft issue, a dedicated specialist can work to fix it. So keep boiling water like a champ, but leave the identity theft protection to LifeLock. Join now, and in fact, save up to 25% off your first year. Just go to LifeLock.com. The promo code is always HERD, H-E-R-D. That's LifeLock.com, code HERD, for 25% off.
At Advance Auto Parts, we take the guesswork out of your oil change so you can get to work. Our experts will help you find the right oil, the right filter, at the right price every day. Get 5 quarts of full synthetic Mobil 1, Valvoline, Castrol Edge, or Pennzoil Platinum with a qualifying premium oil filter for $33.99. Plus, get a free remote control car with purchase of 5 quarts of Mobil 1 after rebate. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
If you want to make money in sales, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. If you can sell, Flynn Broadcasting has a great career waiting for you. If you can sell, we have great benefits, salary, commission, sales leads, and a great place to work. If you can sell, let us know today. Send your resume to jobs@flynn.com. Can everyone sell? No. But if you can, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. Apply today at jobs@flynn.com. Start your great career today at jobs@flynn.com. Flynn Broadcasting wants you.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. Here once again, our great guest in an Eli Savoy.
Let's do it. When I was younger, so much younger than
We could all use a little help, and this helps out. I'm reading a tweet from our friend John Varlas from the Daily Memphian during the break, and according to the Daily Memphian, cases are down another 22% today here in Shelby County as far as COVID-19 is concerned, and that's down 43% from Monday's record report. So, even though the numbers are still up and they're alarming, they are considerably down from Monday. They took a downward turn, which is positive, yesterday and continue today. So, again, looking for some kind of good news, some positive news. Ole Miss guard Blake Hinson, Eli, has entered the transfer portal.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they've obviously went out and hit the transfer market themselves hard, bringing people in. And I was a little surprised by that, though. He's a guy that started as a true freshman, started last year once he was healthy, and I was not expecting to see that, but pretty good player. That's a big loss for Ole Miss.
In a world that we live in now where seemingly every team is losing 3-4 guys to transfer, the University of Memphis having only the one transfer, and that one may have been a little bit of a forced transfer with Tyler Harris, bodes well for the atmosphere that's going on with Penny and the University of Memphis basketball program. The guys that, even though Mike Miller left, guys that he helped recruit in, including Boogie Ellis and Lester Quinones, that are here, unless something happens here in the next month or so, that are committed to the University of Memphis, that return, that they know they got to get much better to play, to have a chance to play in the NBA. So that's certainly a positive thing. Memphis continues to wait to see if Moussa Cisse will announce anytime soon, and They certainly have a great opportunity. And then, as we mentioned, the Nemhard kid from Florida is another point guard that Memphis has offered as a transfer, which I brought up yesterday. I don't know if that's positive for what they have coming back at that position. I know last year there were struggles at that position that they're reaching out to try to bring in somebody else, but maybe it's just for insurance. You never can have enough of anything. Okay, so the NBA yesterday, did they release the complete handbook, Eli, or was it just like bits and pieces that were coming out? Because there was so much information that ended up coming out.
I don't know if they I don't know if they officially released it or if people just got their hands on it. I guess they released it, but I'm not sure.
So it was 33 pages in length, and there's 3 different hotels that will be housing the teams that are in the Disney Resort. And Shams and I'm sure Woj, even though I saw most of it from Shams, coming out with details. The hotel amenities, players-only lounge, NBA 2K, TVs, gaming, pool, trails, barbers, manicurists, pedicurists, 24-hour VIP, a concierge, daily entertainment, movie screenings, DJ sets, video games, ping pong, pool, lawn games, golf. Players can attend other games. I also read where they didn't say anything about the attractions, but I'm trying to find the tweet I saw where it almost indicates that they're going to do something special for them. And I have a feeling that they may open up the park after hours. I wouldn't be surprised if that ended up happening. But it's not the easiest thing, I would imagine, to be away from your family and the families of the players. And only so many can come after they're allowed. But I think it's, the first 30 days before the players can have family members come down?
After the first round of the playoffs.
After the first round of the playoffs. Okay. So here's what it is. It was the 33-page player handbook, complete set of health and safety protocols, and let's see what else they talked about. Okay, they said that it's a 10 to 14-day self-quarantine if you test positive. And then they said there are going to be – basically there's going to be people that are watching the players. And if they leave the facilities unauthorized where they're not supposed to go, they're going to be snitched on. And then they're going to have to face enhanced testing, including the deep nasal swab. They will lose compensation for the games missed. So there's a lot of hardened rules that they're putting in there that the players have to adhere to. I just think that, it's not the easiest thing to be away and to be secluded. Think about it. You're playing basketball. You're making thousands and thousands of dollars. Of course, you make millions overall for some of them, most of them. But in this little time period, you're still making thousands and thousands of dollars to play basketball. Even if you test positive, the chances that these athletes will have to be hospitalized is very, very minimal. But it's still a chance. I understand that. But they are rolling out the red carpet for these guys. So to be even if you're there until October, it's a long time. But sign me up. I would do that in a heartbeat. To be able to. Now, some of the other things that they talk about as far as safety precautions, like the bench, players don't have to have masks. But the row behind them on the bench, they do have to have masks, and the coaches have to have masks. And I didn't read where they're not separate. Like, why wouldn't you separate the players? Have an empty seat in between each one of them to try to get that 6 feet of distance. So I'm a little confused as far as that's concerned. But players are not at first going to be allowed to go to the other hotels where the other players are, but then that'll eventually open up where they'll be able to do that. So, again, it's bad. But to play basketball, make thousands of dollars, and to be waiting on basically hand and foot, even though you feel secluded because you are, and you feel quarantined because you basically are, I think most people would do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's for these guys
in an imperfect world, right? I'm not talking.
It's a different situation, but I mean, that's what they do. They play basketball, and they got to give them. I mean, they're doing as much as they can to give them something to do during the free time, rather than just have to sit around and do nothing. So, yeah, and obviously Disney World has plenty of things for people to do. So they'll give them that opportunity. I do think it's funny that they use the deep nasal testing, which they say that's not going to be the regular testing, which is good, because that would be like, oh God, I can't imagine that. But that's like the threat that if you leave campus without approval, you get the 10-day quarantine and you are subject to the deep nasal testing. Whereas if you leave campus with a reason, which there are family emergencies, things like that, you come back. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go through a 4-day quarantine. So it's like it's
like a prisoner of war.
It's one of the threats of like you leave without approval. You're gonna have to do this when you get back. So I don't think you want to do that.
Yeah, it's not quite water torture, but it's deep nasal. Well, but I don't understand. If you can do another way of testing that's not the deep nasal swab, then and still get the same results, positive or negative, then why do you have to do the deep nasal swab?
Because it's a threat. I mean, it's the bottom line. It's a threat. You don't want to do this? Then don't leave the campus.
There will be some players that certainly are not going to go, and they have until I believe June 24th to announce whether or not they're going to participate. It does not, as Adam Silver said Monday night, it will not affect their contract. But they won't be paid because they're not playing games. But it will not affect their contract overall. They're not going to be punished for that.
If you have a medical reason, and they've got a board or whatever that will determine things, but if you have an underlying medical reason, then you could choose not to go and get paid for it. But if you are not, if there's no reason, no underlying medical reason where you are at risk and you choose not to go, then you will not get paid for those games down there.
How about if you're just you're afraid?
Then you will not get paid.
Okay.
You got to have a medical reason where you are at risk, a higher risk than.
Is fear a medical reason?
If I could get one job down there, I want to be the one who monitors the hotline that people can use to report violations. I just want to hear what gets reported on a daily basis on that thing. I just feel like once we get into the playoffs, there's going to be like 5 calls every day of somebody saying LeBron's doing something wrong and he needs to be punished for it.
As long as it's not D'Angelo Russell telling on Nick Young, then I think we'll be all right.
They're taking snitching to a whole new level.
I could just see every day. I just saw LeBron doing this. Punish him. He needs to sit out for 2 weeks. Somebody else calls right after that. Yeah, LeBron was something Greek. I saw LeBron and the Greek Freak and Anthony Davis. And James Harden. They were all together partying. They should all clearly be kicked out of the league.
Then they're going to have a little court set up so they can have a quick trial whether or not LeBron actually left or not, and it's going to be he said. Here's the tweet I was looking for: potential entertainment for players in the bubble, including outdoor concerts, DJ sets, movie screenings, and live comedy. NBA is working with Disney on special access to Disney parks and attractions. I've said it since day one. I guarantee you that those players are going to be able to go to the parks. Now, they may not be able to go to the parks at the normal hours, but I'm telling you, what they'll do is they'll open up Disney. They'll have workers that work an overnight shift. The players will go and be able to go there from, let's say, if they close at 11 or 12 o'clock, from 12 to 3. And when those families come after the first round of the playoffs, I guarantee you they're going into the parks. It's not going to happen. This is not prison. I know it's inconvenient, but right now we're in an imperfect world. This is pretty darn good. And the NBA has thought about just about everything, whereas Major League Baseball haven't even gotten to the point of thinking about the safety precautions for the players if the baseball season got underway, if it resumed. But
my favorite things from this, one, I just love the fact that their access is going to be using the Disney Magic Band. I just like to see the players running around the little Disney Magic Band to be able to get in places. That's just funny to me. That's going to be that's like they're just like the little kid going to Disney World. Other than when they're playing or working out, they got to have their little Disney Magic Band on to make sure they can get into the hotel and everything else. It cracks me up that they say you cannot play doubles ping pong. Like, we could have 10 guys out on the court sweating and running into each other, bumping around, sweating on each other, everything else. But by golly, when you get back to the hotel, do not have two of you standing on the same end of a ping pong table.
And
we feel like this thing could spread crazily with a ping pong game featuring 4 guys. The 10 guys on the court, not going to spread at all.
Yeah, we know how hard they're sweating playing ping pong.
Like that, I don't like the fact that is a thing when you're talking about playing actual NBA basketball games is like, really? Like, you think doubles ping pong could be the issue?
Yeah, exactly. So they like I said, they've looked at everything. No stone unturned. But it's ridiculous because, again, the bench setup doesn't make any sense. They're not distancing, or at least I've not heard anything about them being apart. So they're all going to be right next to each other, sweating and,
I'm sure they're going to spread. I'm sure they're going to spread the chairs out some.
They have to, right? They have to do that. I just haven't read anything about that.
That doesn't need to be in the handbook. That's just that's not telling the players what their responsibility is. They're going to sit in a chair.
But they were so specific. They were so specific with this handbook. The second row of the bench, the row behind, all those people, except for reserve players, have to wear the masks. I don't understand why they don't wear the mask, and then when they go into the game, they take off the mask.
It's not good for their breathing, man. You come out of an NBA game, you don't want to put a mask on.
No, the guys before if you're sitting on the bench and you haven't gone into the game.
You're about to go out on the court and sweat and run into each other and everything else. You think a mask on the bench is going to be that's the same thing as doubles ping pong.
I'm just thinking of things that are supposed to help. We're in a mask situation here in Shelby County.
And some people think that's ridiculous. So,
did you guys see the if players don't participate, what their compensation will be cut by? The fraction that they use? 192.6th?
Yeah, what is that?
I have no idea. I got a kick out of that, though. That seems very, very specific. 192.6th.
I also
sounds like a radio station.
They say that there's no recreational drug testing, but players have been advised that marijuana is illegal in Florida and banned at Disney World. Because that should stop them.
Well, first of all, that doesn't help with your respiratory system if you're smoking weed and then dealing with COVID-19. But I'm telling you, one time I went to Disney, peeked around the corner, saw Mickey and Minnie toting a little bit. So take that for what it's worth.
I'm going to guess that more than a few players will not take that advisement that marijuana is illegal in Florida and banned at Disney World.
This could be a real. Well, I give him an A for effort here. We'll see how it goes. If it goes off without any issues, but
instead of that, they should have made the rule. Remember, like with this, don't be passing the joints from person to person.
Say, do it again. Please.
Stay off the weed.
At least they're trying. At least the NBA's trying. Hour 2 of Middays coming up next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
We're all in uncharted territory, looking for ways to support our communities. At Dell Technologies, we're making sure small businesses have the right tech solutions. Dell Technologies advisors are here for you, from helping small businesses stay connected and productive while working remotely with Windows 10 and Microsoft Teams, to rapidly deploying remote work solutions that limit upfront costs with Dell Financial Services. We're standing by you every step of the way. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Visit Frontier Western Store this Father's Day for the perfect gifts for Dad. From now until Father's Day, you'll save big on the classic Carhartt K87 short sleeve tee. Get 2 for $25. Frontier carries every color they make, including this year's brand new colors. All sizes are in stock and on sale, small to 4X. All Carhartt Force t-shirts are 25% off too. This hard-working cotton blend wicks away sweat, resists stains, and has a relaxed fit, giving Dad plenty of room to move. Save big on Force at 25% off. Also, all men's pants and jeans, $5 off. Wrangler, Carhartt, and Ariat. Every pair of khakis, jeans, dungarees, and even FR workwear, $5 off. All Carhartt shorts are 25% off, too. While you're there, grab Dad some boots. You know he'd love a new pair. Frontier has thousands of boots in stock at amazing everyday low prices. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
For the ones we trust to always be there. For the ones caring for others. For the ones who keep things going, no matter where they are. In extraordinary times, extraordinary people step up, like the ones standing guard and standing on the front lines, and the ones who are staying apart while still working together. With your efforts, we will get through this. We're grateful for all you do. Visit Grainger.com for resources that can help as you create your recovery plan. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of style with an Untuckit shirt. Untuckit has reimagined the traditional dress shirt to fit a more casual lifestyle. With over 50 sizes, they can fit any body out there. Shop their button-downs, polos, Henleys, and more. Visit Untuckit.com and help Dad look sharp even at his most casual. Or visit one of their 50 stores that are now reopened for business. Use code SUMMER for 20% off your next order with free shipping and returns. Untuckit.com, the place to go this Father's Day. Code SUMMER.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Google or Alexa to play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, theme dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. Here once again, our Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out. Because I love you too much, baby.
Little Elvis on a hump day Wednesday. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Gabe Kuhn. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure is here to make staying at home more enjoyable for you and your family this summer. They offer contactless purchasing, deliveries, and curbside pickup. Give them a call to schedule an appointment or place an order. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. It's the Wednesday, June 17th, 2020 edition of the program. And Sports 56 Middays is delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor. That's FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how FedEx can help you start, grow, and efficiently manage your business. Very busy first hour. We had Dan Quinn on, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, and we talked about a number of different things. So right now, here to open up hour 2, we do have an open segment. We'd love to hear from you on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255. First Bank text line is always open at 67129. Javante Holmes, the East High School boys basketball coach, will join us at 11:25. At 12:25, we'll have our four-man scramble with Keith Pankey and Jay Hasselman. And then at 12:05, it will be our 5 favorite songs. Today's category is Devil, so make sure to text in your lists. You can send them to the First Bank text line at 67129, or if you are watching us live, hello to you guys. You can message us with those lists at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Instagram. Some of the subjects that we got to in hour number 1, including the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the University of Memphis Tigers indoor football facility. Also, the news from yesterday that Shelby County now is mandating the use of masks, and the Southern Heritage Classic unfortunately canceled, second time in 3 years.
By the way, if you are watching us live, you're wondering what my background is today. It is National Eat Your Vegetable Day.
Do you eat your vegetables?
I do eat my vegetables.
Oh, I thought you were like the non-veggie guy. There was somebody I know that just hates vegetables.
You struck me as that type of guy, Greg.
There are some.
I mean, I don't eat. There's a lot of vegetables I don't eat, but I eat a vegetable most days.
Okay, so here are the vegetables I like. I love broccoli.
Ugh.
Power rankings? Are these power rankings?
No. They're not. No
is terrible.
Particular order. No, but if
I don't like that broccoli right next to my head, as a matter of fact.
The cooked broccoli in oil where it's almost burnt is unbelievable, but I can eat the raw broccoli as well.
It's terrible either way.
Carrots only
carrots
raw.
are good.
Only raw. I cannot eat the baked carrots.
Better raw, no doubt.
Peas, I got no problem with peas.
Only raw.
Nope. Raw peas?
Mm-hmm. The only way I would eat peas. Cooked peas are terrible.
The only way I'd eat them is cooked.
Yeah, I eat them cooked. I don't eat
peas
raw
right out
peas.
of the pod. We used to grow when I was a kid. We used to grow peas in the garden. I could go out there and eat them right out of the pod all day long. But you cook those things, they're just they're mush.
String beans for the most part, but there are some string beans the way they're cooked that are just like how do you describe them? They don't taste good, but they're mushy. That's what I want to say, mushy. But the other ones that are kind of firm, they're good. String beans are fine. Let's see what else. I mean, there's some things that are just marginal vegetables, like lettuce and stuff like that. Tomatoes. I enjoy tomatoes.
It's a fruit.
See, there's always
tomatoes a fruit.
There's always the debate whether tomatoes a fruit or a vegetable.
I think it's technically a fruit.
It's a fruit.
I don't know if I've ever gotten true clarification one way or another, but I do know some people call it a fruit. Some people call it a
Google
vegetable.
machine will tell you.
Things like
what about cucumbers or bell peppers?
Bell peppers, love them. Cucumbers, love them. Mushrooms, love them.
What's your
Onions,
favorite
love
color
them.
of bell pepper?
I like the red.
Red is good. Red and orange.
Yep.
The green is the worst.
I would agree with that.
Okay, by definition, a tomato is a fruit, but it says that dietitians consider it vegetable because of what it gives to the body.
Yeah, because see, there's
any
one,
Brussels
there's
sprout
one
fans?
right here over my shoulder.
Get to that in a
there's
second.
tomatoes right here over my shoulder, and I was wondering why they had. Because this picture is supposed to be all vegetables, and I was like, well, they include tomatoes, but I know a lot of people would call tomatoes a fruit. I do not do Brussels sprouts.
Hold off with the bad first. We'll get to that in a
No,
second.
that's not bad.
Well, he's going to like them, but
that's great.
Eli and I won't. Yeah, you have the tomatoes in the background, the Jersey tomatoes. I grew up with Jersey tomatoes are outstanding. Sweet peppers in a salad. You ever eat the sweet peppers? Man, they're good.
I can't have you just skip past the Jersey tomato. What's the difference between a Jersey tomato and a normal tomato?
Just, whatever.
There's a million different
Jersey tomatoes just
types of tomatoes. Like if you go buy tomato plants, there is a million different tomato types. I mean,
But I feel like I've never seen anything termed as Jersey tomato.
Oh, well, I grew up there, so I know that. Corn, I don't even know if it has nutritional value, but I love corn. So let's get to the things I don't like, and you already said you like Brussels sprouts.
Got to make them right. Got to make them right. If you put them in the oven, get them nice and crispy.
I would say, because I used to be like asparagus. I used to not like.
I don't like asparagus.
I love asparagus.
Then I got it cooked right, and I started liking it. I figured then I realized there's better ways of cooking it, and it makes it better. Brussels sprouts I have never had cooked any way that I like them.
Yeah, I do not like Brussels sprouts. I don't like asparagus. Although I got to be honest with you, I don't give it a real good try. My wife makes it. She loves the asparagus. Would we agree on this one? Cauliflower's the worst.
I agree with that.
Cauliflower raw, I have no problem with.
But cooked. You have issues with the stuff being cooked.
Yeah, I don't like cooked cauliflower that much. I mean, I'd eat it, I guess it would, but I wouldn't really. It would never be my choice. But if I had to, but raw cauliflower, I don't have a problem with eating raw cauliflower.
You would think you'd be a big fan of sushi. Since you like raw things.
I don't have a problem with sushi.
There you go.
Depending on what certain rolls of sushi, I'm fine with.
You got an eggplant behind you. Not the biggest fan of the eggplant.
I don't even know if I've ever had eggplant.
You never had eggplant parmesan?
Yeah, I would say when it's part of
No.
a dish like eggplant parmesan, I can handle it. A
I
little
don't.
bit of red sauce.
Maybe
on
I
it.
have. I don't know. I couldn't tell you whether I like eggplant or not. If I've ever had it, I don't remember what it was.
Have I left out any of the big names? I'm sure there's a lot of other vegetables that people have never heard of, like some of the songs that people bring up. But of the big names, we missing anything?
What about spinach? Do you do spinach?
Okay. Spinach is something that I hated growing up, and I'm still not a big fan of it, and I won't eat like the raw spinach, even though Popeye, man, he made it look cool. But in the cooked spinach
salads, raw spinach. That's I never liked spinach at all. But then when I was introduced to spinach salads with the raw spinach, like the baby spinach, that's my favorite salad is a baby spinach salad.
Yeah, it's not mine, but I've eaten it, and but the cooked spinach I never liked until my wife made this dish with chicken, which has the spinach and melted cheese on it, whatever. I don't know what
spinach artichoke dip's pretty darn good too.
Yeah,
I can get on board with that.
But I'm kind of back and forth with spinach, and that's is kale even considered a mainliner now because it's so popular?
It is.
I hate
it's like a
kale.
superfood, isn't it?
Boy,
Something
I
like
hate
that.
kale. Kale's terrible.
It doesn't taste like anything.
I don't
does it?
believe I've ever tried kale.
Nah,
I don't believe I ever will.
I had it in a salad one time.
Do you eat celery?
I do not like it. I'll eat it. I have no problem with celery. Sometimes I remember the days I'd put little
with buffalo wings. It's the only way.
Sour cream and carrots with wings, but also I'd put a little cream cheese.
Sour cream?
Not sour cream, cream cheese.
Ugh.
Cream cheese on the celery. You've never done that?
Dip it in ranch.
Spread a
Yeah,
little.
dip it. I was gonna say. I'm used to the ranch or like buffalo sauce.
As
Dip
a
it
kid,
into.
they used to always do the peanut butter in the celery.
Yeah,
and I used to
I've
eat
done that too. But people, listeners, my people out there, come to my rescue. Little cream cheese, little Philadelphia brand cream cheese spread across a celery stick. Nothing wrong with that.
Add those Jersey tomatoes in there. Got yourself a meal.
What are you making fun of Jersey tomatoes for?
Because I've never heard of Jersey tomatoes in my life.
Look it up, Jersey tomatoes. All right, let's talk about.
Somebody says fried eggplant is fantastic.
I've heard that's good. I don't know if I've had it.
Somebody else says Allen's green beans are really good. Who's Allen?
Is that like just the maker?
Is that a brand?
Yeah, we're not talking brands here. And Jersey tomatoes not like.
You could give me any green bean, I'm gonna like it. Like I love green beans.
I don't like the mushy
care
green beans.
whether they're Allen's or somebody else's. I'm gonna eat green beans. I love.
I stand corrected. They are a definite thing.
What?
For the Jersey tomatoes?
Damn right they are.
The first what do you call it? Autocorrect or whatever the first line that you type in Jersey tomatoes says, "Why are Jersey tomatoes so good?"
Hey, you know what you know what the nickname of New Jersey is? You know what the name is? What's the nickname of New Jersey? Come on, Gabe.
I have no idea.
Missouri is the what? Show me state.
Show me state.
New Jersey's the Garden State. For goodness sakes. Thank you.
Somebody brings up cabbage and squash. I like cabbage.
Don't like cabbage. I'll eat squash.
Squash, zucchini. Like if you give me the little squash zucchini combination cooked up right, that I'm all for that.
Yeah, I've done that. Oh, Gabe, you like that? Yeah,
absolutely.
Bon appetit. What was the first thing you said though before zucchini and squash?
Cabbage.
Cabbage.
Raider Corey says, "What? No spinach, cabbage, or kale, unless I'm going deaf." I don't know what that means.
No, we mentioned we hadn't mentioned cabbage till now, but I mentioned kale.
Yeah, he says squash and somebody says squash and zucchini together. Yeah, you give me that. I'm a big fan of the squash zucchini little combination, little olive oil in there, cook that up on the grill.
Yeah.
That was another thing that I never really knew I liked until I roomed with a chef for a while. When I roomed with a chef, like he introduced me to a lot of things that I didn't know I liked, and then I was like, okay, now I see when you do things the right way, they taste a lot different. But even he couldn't get Brussels sprouts to a point where I liked them. I was like, nope, yeah, nice try. I would try anything. He was like my mom. I wasn't willing to try everything. When you live with a chef, you're like, okay, like I'm willing to give it a shot because you've kind of turned me on a few things, but Brussels sprouts, even he couldn't turn me onto a Brussels sprouts guy. I just wasn't that guy.
If you're just tuning in, we brought this up because Eli has that in his background. If you're watching us with the vegetables, because it's National Vegetable Day, not as popular.
Eat Your Vegetable Day.
National Eat Your Vegetable
So
Day.
eat
Not
a
as
vegetable
popular
today.
Not as popular as National Donut Day or National Cheesesteak Day or something like that. Front Row Jay texts me. He says kale was the stuff your food was on at the buffet at Shoney's. Like the. All the plates were on top of that green stuff. That was the kale.
I don't believe I've ever been in the presence of kale. Like, I really don't even think I've been around kale. So I certainly haven't tried it. That is for sure. We were talking about the NBA, by the way. The Spanish league, the high Spanish league, the Spanish ACB league, they returned to play today. So the NBA gets now they're not going nearly as long. They're going to complete their entire thing in 13 days. They're just bringing in, they're doing some, like, each team plays like 5 games to set up semifinals, and then they just play one game, like a 1 game, 2 semifinals and a final. That's it. So they're going to be done in 13 days. So it's not nearly as long as the NBA is going to be in their bubble, but there is some similarities in that they're doing it in a bubble type setting. So they kind of get a little bit of a test run. If all of a sudden in this league the COVID starts spreading crazily, then that will be a bad sign for the NBA.
So this number I'm about to give you either means more people are getting out and they're not watching as much TV, or they just don't care about baseball, particularly McGuire and Sosa. Long Gone Summer drew just 775,000 viewers, the lowest 30 for 30 in 2020, meaning the Lance Armstrong two-parter was watched by many more people than Long Gone Summer.
Actually, it wasn't many more people. I don't think that one did better, but not by a whole lot.
Both the episodes, both parts.
But the Bruce Lee of these last 3 since the Michael Jordan one, the Bruce Lee one was the best.
I watched it.
It was the most watched. I don't know if it was the best, but it was the most watched. Had the best ratings.
So Mike Gundy yesterday. You know what the new trend is? To apologize. I know the first video with Chuba Hubbard wasn't really an apology from him, but we talked about Drew Brees a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that he apologized like 30 different times with 30 different videos. Then his wife had a video as well. I think that's the new trend. You got to do it multiple times, different ways, different fashions. But anyway, Mike Gundy came out yesterday with a video apologizing for being insensitive, for the pain and discomfort that he brought by wearing that T-shirt, which caused a lot of pain and discomfort for some of our listeners yesterday.
Yeah, I'm sure they're really upset that he apologized again. Or not again, for the first time. He didn't actually apologize the first time. The thing that from yesterday. So he's going complete ignorance, I guess, is going to be his defense, because he said once he found out what that network, what their stance was or whatever on Black Lives Matter, then so this network that he said, 2 months ago that he had discovered and that he really liked, he didn't know anything about what their stances were on things. And so he just wore the T-shirt blindly.
Let me tell you something. That guy is not stupid. He's lying about this. He knew exactly what that network was about. He probably was making a statement with that shirt, which is ill-advised. Or, again, as somebody said, a T-shirt's a T-shirt. He had the T-shirt. He put it on. He didn't even think about it, and a photo was taken of him. But I don't think he could plead ignorance on this. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew to save his job, to save face, and to, more importantly, appease Chuba and the players, African-American players on the roster. He had to do something like this. And what he did 2 days ago wasn't enough, because there wasn't an apology, and he was called. Now, you could argue whether or not he really needs to apologize. But again, what we said was it's his choice to wear whatever he wants. But sorry, in this day and age, if it ruffles feathers, you're going to be in trouble with your job if you're a coach. So he had to make sure he did it and did it properly. And that's apparently what he did yesterday.
Yeah, you can argue whether he needs to apologize but if he wants to keep his job and coach those players, he needs to apologize.
That's my point. I don't know if he truly believes. I'm not saying that the guy is a bad dude or is racist or any of that. It's just that, hey, he preferred that network. Well, that network for many people of color is very insensitive to their fight. So he needs to be more understanding of everybody. And I just don't believe that was the case. I think he knew exactly. He preferred that, but then he realized, oh my gosh, I might be in trouble with my job. AD, president, got on his case, made sure he did that. And I'm not saying he's not a bad dude, and that's the way he should be judged by his players. I think overall, from what he has been like to be around for years, whether it's you're a 4-year player, 3-year player, whatever the case may be, as opposed to one stupid incident.
Is it not alarming, though, how many guys came out and sort of echoed Chuba Hubbard's
it
sentiments?
wasn't just about the T-shirt. I mean, there were other things that people brought up. I mean, it wasn't just this T-shirt. People talked about other. Even called for other. Things need to change. I think there's maybe some other issues there that they certainly need to address. But if he, as he said, met with his team and they were able to kind of get their point across, everything else, and everybody's good to go. Good on them. Fine. Whatever. It doesn't matter to me. It's between him and those players, and he's got to make sure that they trust him in order to go out and play for him.
Well, let's put it this way. I think what is happening with the marches, the protests, I think it's opened the eyes of a lot of people. I think a lot of people have changed for the better or are in the midst of changing for the better. I do believe that. But I also believe that there are some that, while maybe understanding it, still stick to their guns and their viewpoints, but only change publicly because it could affect their standing with a job. But on the inside, they haven't changed at all. If that's the case, then you're going to see massive amounts of when the election happens, that there'll be little support for Trump. And Trump is going to get a tremendous amount of support. So I think a lot of people will say what people want them to hear, but not necessarily change their point of view. But I still think there will be a number of people who have changed because this is just different. This is completely different than any other thing we've seen before. Going back to the 60s and the civil rights movement.
By the way, on those vegetables, John on Facebook brought up. He said boiled okra, but are you an okra person?
She's a great talk show host, but I can't believe she's worth as much as she is. Oh, okra.
I know fried okra is such a big deal here in the South. I can't get into that.
I don't like okra. I don't even know
what an okra looks like.
Especially boiled, too.
Yeah, I've never tried boiled okra, but fried. Listen, everything's going to be better fried than boiled, I think. But I've done fried okra.
That's true.
The fried okra is bad to me, so I can't even imagine what boiled okra is like. That's got to be terrible.
I think there's pickled okra, too, which is like if it's pickled, it's pickled. It's
what does an
acidic,
okra look like? What is
it's like a...
In its true form, what does an okra look like?
It looks like... It kind of looks like a pepper. It kind of resembles a pepper.
Okay.
Except it's not
pepper. Is there one behind me? Is there an okra in my picture?
I don't believe so.
Not that I see.
I don't believe so. When we come back, Javante Holmes is scheduled to join us. The East High School basketball coach who's put together these pickup runs by guys like John Morant and Moussa Cisse. We'll discuss with him how that has gone, and that's next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56. That's AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 96.1 FM, or 87.7 FM.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
O'Reilly. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get up to a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries. With high cranking power and reserve capacity, Superstart batteries provide all the power your vehicle demands and more. Turn the key with confidence. Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Visit Frontier Western Store this Father's Day for the perfect gifts for Dad. From now until Father's Day, you'll save big on the classic Carhartt K87 short sleeve tee. Get 2 for $25. Frontier carries every color they make, including this year's brand new colors. All sizes are in stock and on sale, small to 4X. All Carhartt Force t-shirts are 25% off too. This hard-working cotton blend wicks away sweat, resists stains, and has a relaxed fit giving Dad plenty of room to move. Save big on Force at 25% off. Also, all men's pants and jeans, $5 off. Wrangler, Carhartt, and Ariat. Every pair of khakis, jeans, dungarees, and even FR workwear, $5 off. All Carhartt shorts are 25% off, too. While you're there, grab Dad some boots. You know he'd love a new pair. Frontier has thousands of boots in stock at amazing everyday low prices. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
Golf is back. That's right, we have a full weekend of golf ahead of us. And even though the trophy is reserved for the winner, the big cash prizes don't have to be. To add to the excitement, DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports, is putting you in the center of the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes with your first deposit. It's easy to play. Just pick 6 golfers, stay under the salary cap, and submit your lineup before the tournament tees off on Thursday. The more red numbers they have on the leaderboard, the closer you'll be to winning some green. Rack up points for pars, birdies, finishing position, and more. Download the DraftKings app now and use code HERD during sign-up. This week, DraftKings is putting you in the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes. That's code HERD. And you could get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today, 6482 Poplar Avenue just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again,
our great guest in an Eli Savoy.
We don't need no education.
Welcome back, everybody. 11:27 is the time. It's always great to talk basketball with Javante Holmes, who's, of course, East High School coach, but also a trainer, a coach of many young player who has hit the hardwood in this area. He is just tremendous with working with young players, and he has also been very busy here lately by putting together these runs, these scrimmages, these 5-on-5s, which started, I think, as 3-on-3s, with some big names in basketball, whether it be Ja Morant or Moussa Cisse or some of the terrific high school players in the area. It's always great to visit with Javante Holmes, who you can follow on Twitter at JRockHolmes. And Javante joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great,
Fantastic to have you on the program. So give me the rundown. How were you approached? How did this start where you decided in the midst of everything that's going on in our country, and, of course, with COVID-19, that you were going to go ahead and open up a gym somewhere, wherever it is, to these players? How did it start?
It started with just extra training. I had Ian Clark here, Lester Hudson, Kennedy Chandler, who I've been with for a little while. Actually, Ian Clark was one of my first players on my AAU team. Then I had some bigs in there like Farrakhan Hall, Tyler Stone, and Moussa. Also had Jalen Crutcher from Dayton, who's from Memphis. And Obi Toppin came down one time and trained. And so, once I got those guys in the gym and, we started doing like 2-on-2, 3-on-3 stuff, became more competitive. And then once the city went into phase 2, we just said, we need to get some games in. And so I had a text log of 15 guys. We sat down and composed 15 guys and said, let's try to get the best 15 we can that replied first. Well, it started with a compiled list of 25 guys. So the first 15 that really, wanted to get in, I just kept it at that 15, and we've been going from there.
So when you're doing these things, are you having to do social, I guess, COVID-19 stuff, or how is that being taken into consideration as far as trying to make sure you're obviously getting the work in, but keeping guys safe as well?
We started out with checking the temperatures first. Then, we got plenty of hand sanitizer in there. So in every break, guys are, sanitizing. And, just playing basketball, all of the guys been tested. They are aware of their surroundings, but in some effect, they are professional basketball players. So I definitely have to manage who's coming in the gym and who's leaving the gym. But like I said, we stick with the same 15 guys, and we go from there.
I'm sure it was driving them crazy as they were cooped up in their houses. They weren't able to really get out much when this thing hit. And to be able to have this outlet, I'm sure, is a relief for them to stay in shape, get ready. In Ja's case, get ready to resume the NBA season. So you gave them this outlet. You mentioned Javonte. You had 25. You narrowed it down to 15. I would imagine right now, because the story is out about this, there's probably some other players that are texting you or calling you wanting to be a part of it.
It's definitely a challenging. Memphis has so much talent. With just 15 guys, it's hard to find 15 guys who's worthy of it. Everybody, you have so many kids. You look at Jonathan Lawson. He hasn't had a chance to be in it. He's a top 50 kid and a dynamic high school player.
Wow.
You look at guys just around the city who either in Memphis or in other schools just coming back to Memphis. It's challenging, but I just tried to stick with the first 15 who replied, and we went from there.
So what's it like to see a guy like Ja Morant, who is becoming a star at the NBA level, and the way he kind of interacts and things with guys who are still high school players?
He's a young man. He knows his talent level, and he definitely want to help guys get to a level, to where he is. And he's young. He still would be a college kid himself if it wasn't for his talent. So definitely he see these guys. These guys are talented. He definitely want to give them a boost as well.
He seems like, though, even though numerically he's young, he seems like he's mature beyond his years. The way he's embraced the fans around the Memphis area, has embraced being a professional ball player, and just his first year has already made so much noise nationally. But reading the stories about him taking Moussa Cisse under his wings and probably some other guys that, while he's still getting adjusted to his new career, he's trying to help other people out.
The thing about him that's so dynamic, obviously we see his talent. He's a leader, man, and people gravitate to him. I can see why he's the star Memphis needed. I can see why he is the player that he is on and off the court. And just his leadership. It's not by chance that the Grizzlies were where they were last year, and then adding him to being in the playoff picture. It speaks tremendously of his talent and his leadership.
We see him on Twitter constantly trying to recruit for the University of Memphis. Is he working on Moussa Cisse while he's in there?
I really don't get into those conversations. I imagine, they have talked about it. All those guys are talking, every day. Kenny Chandler's talking to Ja. Lester Hudson is being a big role model to these guys because Lester's 35 and he's been around. He's been in the NBA, been overseas in China. Ian Clark, same way. Ian Clark took Jalen Crutcher under his wing. Jalen Crutcher was hopefully, he wanted to be in the NBA draft this year, barring COVID-19. They was the top 5 team in the country, probably going to be a number 1 seed, and he would have propelled, playing in the NCAA tournament. But, Ian Clark was a guy that went undrafted, won a ring, and been in the league 9-10 years, and now playing in China. So those guys, those guys got guys to look up to and see. Guys win championships, start like Ja Morant, journeyman like Lester Hudson was, and made the best of his career. So they got so many different guys, different jumpers they can see, like, man, like they can learn so much from. And that was the thing, bringing these guys in and being mentors to these other guys.
Lester Hudson is 35. My goodness gracious, that makes me feel old now.
Yeah.
Think about how old it makes me feel. So, Javonte, is Ja the best? Who's the best player you've been around, that you've worked with, that you've had and you've overseen the development? Is it Ja hands down, or is there somebody else?
Ja is a tremendous talent. Obviously I work with Will Barton every summer, and I seen Will grow from being averaging 1.7 in Portland to being averaging 16.5 in the NBA, and was in the top five in NBA efficiency this past year. Ja's a tremendous talent, though. Like, I've actually been in the gym when I was in Vegas with Dennis Smith Jr., who's a tremendous talent. So, just seeing a lot of these guys, it's hard to compare because they all different. But, obviously Ja is a tremendous talent.
What's your impressions, especially seeing him in this type of setting, of Moussa Cisse, and what kind of impact can he have at the college level?
Moussa, right now, obviously, his skills need to be developed, and I think he's working on that. You can see him from the first time I saw him here in Memphis to now. His athletic ability is second to none. He can control the game on the defensive end. He can control the game rebounding wide. He runs the floor great. He's dunking everything around the rim. So, it's things that translate from him from high school to college to the NBA. If he were to be an NBA player, the defensive presence, everybody needs a defensive presence. Everybody needs a rebound. Everybody needs a 7-foot guy who can run that floor. So outside the skill set, he has things that translate to every level of basketball.
How strong is he right now? How much stronger does he have to get? And does he have any type of a 3-point shot?
In there with those guys, you never get a chance to really see him shoot the 3 ball for the simple fact. You got pro guys in there. Like Cameron Payne, and he was on Cameron Payne's team, and Cameron Payne make him do the things that he would see him do at the next level. Screen, run hard, catch lobs, rebound, block shots. So, I hadn't seen him get in pick and pop situations yet. But obviously, I saw him in high school. I saw him make some, and it's not bad, but you definitely need to work on.
It's interesting. You just talked about Cameron Payne, who's been on our show a number of times. It almost sounds like the stories I heard about Penny Hardaway when he would play pickup games after his career was over, how he would I think Cedric Henderson told us this story, that even during pickups, he would put people in the places that they need to be to help his squad win. And that's exactly the way you're describing Cam Payne.
Yeah. Cam is a natural leader, man. Just to see him just go through what he went through his career and to now, I think he's an NBA guard. He's always communicating. He's shooting the ball better. He's got his body right. He's pretty good defensively. He's a leader. He know how to make plays. He's doing all the right things.
For Cisse, how would you, obviously you're probably a little partial here, but how would you compare him to James Wiseman on each end of the court, offensively and defensively versus James?
I've seen James so much.
Yeah.
James is definitely a talent offensively and defensively. James could change the game defensively. James will, he can shoot the 3 ball. He can put it on the floor. He can get to them. He can get to a pick and pop situation. He can make the short corner shot, and obviously he can finish around the rim. Moussa, I hadn't had a chance to really evaluate him as much, but he's definitely a dynamic talent. Moussa moves laterally pretty good, though. I can see him on the switch, guarding guys and late in the shot clock and being able to keep a guy in front of him. Mm-hmm. So, they're two totally different players. I know people like to compare them, but from what I've seen with James is a dynamic offensive player, too.
Kennedy Chandler is going to have one more year of prep, and he's going to go play in Kansas, right? Is it Sunrise he's going to play?
Sunrise Christian.
Okay, so we know how talented he is, and he really blossomed, I think, from sophomore year to junior year. And he'll have that decision to make. Maybe a one-and-doneer guy. Maybe he wants to play more than that in college. Maybe it will be that G League team because we know that they're interested in him. But how good can he be?
He can. What Kennedy? I think a lot of people around the city sometimes you get a black eye. I want to say people talk
bad rap.
Yeah, because he's not a 30-point per game scorer. He's not a 30-point. He can do it, but he's just the type of kid that's going to go out there and play the right way. And he want to account for 30 points as opposed to scoring 30 points because he dissects the game differently. He looks at it different. He sees plays that a pro would see right now. As a high schooler, he know how to get guys in the right areas. He know how to find his shots, and he's not a 20 to 25 shots a game guy. He's doing what he know he needs to do to be better at the next level. It's unrealistic that he's going to go in a college program and probably shoot 25 times a game.
Right.
He has to be efficient.
Yeah, it's almost well, I don't know if it's comparable, but Memphis, as you know, has a guy named Damian Ball who is just not, people expect, well, why does he score more? He's looking to distribute. He's looking to pass first and then shoot when he has to, but I think a guy that certainly has to pick it up a little bit more. I don't even know who's all in town, but of the Tigers, because Alex Lomax is over there with you, of course.
Yeah, Alex Lomax and DJ Jeffries have been mainstays for a while.
Have there been any other Tigers or Grizzlies that have wanted to come and play?
Malcolm Dandridge has been another Tiger that came in. Lester Keonis came in. Damian Ball came in a couple of times. I have heard from Jaron Jackson's people, but it hadn't, came through yet. But
gotcha.
I imagine like this week or two will be the last week for the NBA guys, for the simple fact they have to go in and do COVID testing and quarantine for a while before they can really go into, before they go to Orlando.
Do you expect to be having these pickups throughout the summer?
Yeah, I definitely do it. I'll leave Memphis July the 10th to go to Denver. Mm-hmm. I would be out there with Will Barton until they get ready to go to Orlando, just to get him going.
So will somebody else take your place for the scrimmages to keep the run going?
Yeah, I got it in place to where we got a couple of guys who could manage that. But with the run, we did it a lot different. We didn't let them go in there and throw the balls out. And in the main story I talk about all the time, Memphis has a lot of hoopers which they can play ball, but we don't have enough basketball players. And basketball players meaning we have to get guys, bridge the gap, get them to understand pick and roll situations, get them to understand rotation defensively. So the way you can do that to help with that, starting off with 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, and then build up to 5-on-5. So with those things being said, that's how we go in attacking it. Everybody's receptive to it. With the 2-on-2, the 3-on-3, 4-on-4, then we'll move up to 5-on-5.
Yeah, so you guys are educating them in the game of basketball as well as just not rolling the ball out and just go out there and get in shape and play some games. You are having them go through drills basically and learn how to be better basketball players, which says an awful lot of what you're doing, Javonte, because I know you're giving up a lot of your time. All right, real quick, and speaking of your time, we appreciate you being on with us. Two more real quick. You mentioned DJ Jeffries coming back from the injury. How good does he look?
DJ looking great. Ian Clark, that was his first time ever seeing DJ. And he was like, oh, my God, DJ. Obviously, with his talent, he's doing a lot of great things right now. He's doing a lot of great things. So, man, with him, I'm looking for big things with DJ right now. I'm looking for really good things with DJ.
Well, I know Memphis fans listening to you comment about DJ like that, they're very excited. The other thing is, you said Obi Toppin came in for one day. Did he actually scrimmage, or was he just like hanging around?
No, we was working out. He and Jay McCrutchy was working out, so he didn't get a chance to get into the scrimmages. Yeah, he's a tremendous talent, though.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, he was so good, and I'm sure Jalen speaks so highly of him. I think he has a chance to be a really good NBA player. I mean, I know the age is always like a knock when they've been around college for too long, and some people criticize, well, he's 23 years old or whatever. You'd rather have a 19-year-old.
That kid is a top 5 pick. I don't care how you look at it. Age or whatever. That kid he's a top 5 pick.
Exactly. Hey, Javonte, listen, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you soon. Stay well, okay?
All right, thank you.
Take care. Great stuff.
That'd be those games. I mean, it's amazing. You think the level of kind of range of players we're talking about, from high school guys all the way up to a guy like Ja Morant, who's going to be probably Rookie of the Year in the NBA. But it's Lester Hudson's 35 years old. It doesn't seem right.
I am shocked. I'm stunned. Lester Hudson.
If you had asked me how old Lester Hudson was, like if you just said, how old do you think Lester Hudson? I would have said, like, I don't know what. Maybe 29,
28,
30,
29.
Maybe hit 30 by now. 35 years old. Man, was it that long ago that he was around here? My goodness.
Time is flying by. All right, so there's a tweet out that Antonio Anderson will interview with Penny Hardaway for the open assistant coaching position at Memphis. I have said it from day one. I was on Twitter, I think, immediately once Mike Miller left, that I think it makes an awful lot of sense with Antonio Anderson. The one thing that you don't have with Antonio Anderson is recruiting experience. But a guy who played in a national championship game for the Memphis Tigers can sell itself. A guy who has won 2 state championships as a high school coach says an awful lot. A dogged defensive player. I think that's a great option. Now, I don't know, because he's interviewing him, that definitely Penny will go in that direction. In fact, the odds would say he's not. But that the fact that Antonio is going to be interviewed, I think, is positive. Tone and I have gone back and forth a lot and talked about this thing. And I told him, a few people that need to really step up for him and get in the ear of Penny Hardaway. I don't know if that helped at all, but Antonio deserved this. And, again, out there, according to a report on Twitter, that he will be interviewed. Okay, coming up, our final segment here in hour number 2. In hour 3, we'll start off with our 5 favorite songs. Again, get your lists in. The topic today is Devil. And then at 12:25, our 4-man scramble. Week 2, we'll make our picks for the RBC Heritage. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Blood and plasma donations are more important than ever. People all around the world still depend on the medicine your plasma helps make. That's why Interstate Blood Bank and Plasma Biological Services are open and will remain open for our donors. The United States government has declared blood and plasma donation as a critical infrastructure industry. That means healthy donors are allowed to travel to and from donation centers regardless of any stay-at-home mandates in your area. We need you to keep donating so that we can continue to manufacture these life-saving medicines. We understand that you may be concerned about COVID-19. The health and safety of our donors and our employees remain a top priority. To limit the spread of the virus, we're taking additional measures to ensure our centers are safe and clean. Donating now is more important than ever, but please do not come to the center to donate if you are not feeling well or have a sore throat, fever, cough, or shortness of breath. We are doing our part so that you can do yours. Come donate today at one of our IBBI or PBS locations across the Memphis area.
Do you get into bed and find your mind still going? If so, try ZzzQuil Pure Z's liquid melatonin. It's made with an optimal level of melatonin for no next day grogginess. Pure Z's liquid melatonin, because sleep is a beautiful thing, at stores now.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
The world's best dads deserve the best Father's Day gifts, and Ace is the best place to find them. We have a great collection of brands dads trust, like outdoor power equipment from Steel and Ego, power tools from Milwaukee, grills from Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Weber, and coolers from Yeti. Find them at your neighborhood Ace or order online for curbside pickup or delivery, and make this Father's Day one dad will always remember with gifts he'll love from Ace. At participating stores, see store for details.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Though we're apart these days, we're sharing more. And Geico would just like to say thanks. Thanks for sharing your dance moves. Thanks for sharing your DIY haircut fails. Now it's Geico's turn to share too, with a Geico Give Back. A 15% credit on car and motorcycle policies for current and new customers. And because Geico's committed for the long haul, the 15% credit lasts your full policy term. Visit geico.com/giveback for info and eligibility.
Hi, I'm Greg Gaston for Window Genie. Window Genie is a trusted name in window cleaning, but they do so much more. They can take care of your home or business. They clean interior and exterior windows with a streak-free guarantee. They clean gutters, do pressure washing and house washing. They can also clean and seal concrete, brick, and natural stone. Locally owned and operated, insured and bonded. Get your free estimate today and ask for the Sports 56 discount. Call 901-424-4100 and leave the dirty work to Window Genie.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Let's do it.
We were talking yesterday about the name Rebels. We have all the changes that are happening, the Confederate statues coming down, names being changed. UNLV officials, according to reports, have removed the Hey Reb statue from campus Tuesday night. And UNLV President Marta Mina indicated that changes could be coming to the university's mascot in the wake of social justice protests around the country. So they don't say anything about getting rid of the nickname Rebels. They're the Runnin' Rebels. But they're talking about changes that could be coming to the mascot, and the Hey Reb statue is coming down. So we'll see if anything happens moving forward with Ole Miss and the Rebels.
Yeah, I mean, we had the texter yesterday who asked about the name Ole Miss too, which has references back to the slavery days. Is a reference back to that. Man, it would be what they went through to get rid of Runnin' Reb or Colonel Reb. I mean, as the mascot.
Mm-hmm.
It would be real surprising to see it happen at Ole Miss. There would be a lot. That would be a fight.
Well, the fighting is going to be less and less. There'll still be the fighting, but boy, they made that change at Clemson pretty quickly, and they made that change with the Confederate flag. Now we'll see how NASCAR fans react to it because they haven't had a race with fans yet, but they're going to have that all-star race at Bristol coming up soon, where they're going to have a maximum of 30,000 people. So you're going to have a lot of people in there, and we'll see if there's any problems with trying to bring the Confederate flag in to the infield, and I don't even know if they have the flags in the stands anymore, like any kind of flag. So I'm not sure about that, but we'll see if there's anything that comes of that. Do you know what today is? Today's the 26th anniversary of something pretty famous. Do you know what it is?
26th anniversary, that'd be 1994. June 17th, 1994, a lot of things happened.
Yes, but that was a busy day of various things, which they did the 30 for 30 on, as a matter of fact. They sure did.
That day.
They sure did, and what Eli's alluding to is, of course, that was the day of the O.J. Simpson Bronco chase. But what was happening on that particular day, 26 years ago, Game 5 of the NBA Finals between the Rockets and the Knicks. Earlier that day, the Rangers had their Stanley Cup parade. The U.S. Open took place, and the World Cup kicked off. But at night...
Not just the U.S. Open took place. It was Arnold Palmer's final round at the U.S. Open.
Wow. And then at night, of course, NBC cut into the NBA Finals game to show the famous Bronco, the white Bronco driven by Al Cowlings with O.J. Simpson in the back, and the rest is history. But today is the 26th anniversary of that event.
I can remember exactly where I was.
And where would that be?
I was at my friend's house. We were sitting in his living room as it started to unfold, and we didn't move all night watching that whole thing unfold. So I was there to watch the basketball game, and then ended up watching a white Bronco all night.
Well,
and it wasn't John Elway.
I was not in Memphis yet. I was in Salisbury, Maryland, so I was on TV or getting ready to go on TV and probably put a sports cast together and then realized that ain't happening. So I was around the newsroom, just hanging around with everybody else, watching, wondering. I mean, that was just surreal. I mean, we have all the protests that are going on right now, which are extremely important, and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. But the O.J. Bronco deal was amazing to me because the people that came out that were on the overpasses and that were lined up down the roads and down the streets, it was almost like reminiscent of like back in the day when the president would die and they would put the president's body on a train and roll the train through the country, and people would be out there ready to salute the president.
It was strange in so many ways. You talk about something that could have broken Twitter. I can't even imagine if Twitter had been around for that night.
I'm reading the story. They said later in the evening on ABC, Al Michaels gave us the greatest performance of his career. What? They're talking about some prank call that happened. Let me see if I can read. Let me see. All right. You have Peter Jennings, who at the time was thought of as one of the great broadcasters in TV, and he was, completely not listening to one word the prank caller was saying. So a prank caller called in, I guess, to the ABC News. Jennings didn't even react after the caller dropped and a baba booey to you all. Peter just kept rolling along until Al Michaels had to let everyone know it was not a real call. And even though Al only spoke for a few seconds, he gave us the best use of lest in TV history and the best use of farcical in TV history. In addition, Al, who was a big Howard Stern fan, didn't want to say the caller was from the Howard Stern show, so he used the memorable line about the prankster saying something in code at the end that's indicative of the mentioning of a name of a certain radio talk show host. The great Al Michaels. I don't remember any of that. The prank caller?
I feel like that might have been in the 30 for 30, but I don't remember. I can't remember. I don't remember that happening. But now that I hear that, I do kind of remember something about that. I don't know if it was in the 30 for 30 or not.
Yep, what a day it was. 26 years ago today. When we come back, hour 3, we'll start off with our 5 favorite songs. Today, The Devil. The devil gets his due. Songs need to contain the word devil in the title to qualify. If you have not gotten your list in, text in the list. 67129, First Bank text line. Always open, always ready for your texts. If you're watching us, and hopefully you are, you can message us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Instagram. That'll be followed by the 4-man scramble with Keith Benke and Jay Hasselman. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now, when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. And MLS number 3030.
Ugh, my stomach. When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Try new Pepto-Bismol chews. The same fast relief of Pepto-Bismol, now in a delightful chew.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Yes, I'm living at a place that kills. Ooh, yeah. Running with the devil.
Welcome back, everybody. 12:02 the time. Final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Middays. Nice intro music as we'll have our 5 favorite songs. Subject coming up here. The devil is the theme for today. Our 5 favorite songs has become a very popular deal that we do each and every day. If you're just tuning in for the first time and don't know what we're talking about, each day we come up with a topic. We'll give you the topic the day before, and we ask for your 5 favorite songs with the name and that topic in the title of your song. So today it's Devil. So as long as the song has Devil somewhere in the title of your song, put a list together of your top 5, and then text them in. And we'll read it on the air at 67. We can read it on the air. You can text us at 67129. We'll read it on the air. Or you could send those lists, if you're watching us live, you can do so via message at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Instagram. Greg, Eli, and Gabe, it is hour number 3 of the program on this Wednesday, June 17th, 2020. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor. That's FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how FedEx can help you start, grow, and efficiently manage your business. And the third hour of the program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at 5143 Quince Road. I'll tell you more about East Memphis Ace Hardware in just a few moments.
So we got a text on that talking about the June 17th, 1994. Somebody says the Bronco from the chase is in a museum in Gatlinburg. Is that true?
I remember it being in a museum. So I don't know.
How did it get to Gatlinburg? Why Gatlinburg? What museum?
I don't know. It's probably a Dolly Parton museum up in that area. Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, that area. I don't know. It's quite possible. I know it's in a museum. I remember one time, though, it was on, what's the TV show? Pawn Stars. Pawn Stars. I remember that. Like, he had a chance, I think, to buy it. You know, the main guy. You ever watch Pawn Stars?
I've watched it a couple times.
Rick had a chance, I think, to buy it. It was on one of the episodes. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. Want to mention again.
You wouldn't be surprised it's just in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would
Seems
not
like a weird place for it to be.
It is. But if there's museums, which there are all over the place, they want something of value for their museum so people can go visit them. So maybe it's something that was, biddable, affordable for them, and they went ahead and they purchased it. I mean, I'm not saying that the texter's wrong, because more than likely that texter's correct.
Yeah, I got it right here. The Alcatraz East Crime Museum in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
See? That's what I said, Pigeon Forge, Dolly.
What's the museum?
The Alcatraz East Crime Museum.
That's a weird name.
How about that? I did not know there was an Alcatraz East Crime Museum, but okay.
Well, again, the thought is that there are so many museums around the country, around the world, but in this country, you have to have a go-to, right? You have to put some money out there to get something that is of value that people want to come and see.
And Jay texted me, said that that prank call was definitely in the 30 for 30.
It was.
I thought when you said that, like I kind of remember, like I know I don't remember that happening when it happened, and I do that like ring a bell, so I thought it must be in the 30 for 30.
Yeah,
yes, it was.
The Baba Booey crank is probably maybe the most known crank like ever, because it's happened so many times in so many venues with the Baba Booey. But I don't even remember that. Probably because I wasn't watching ABC News. I was probably watching NBC News. Well, then again, I should have been watching ABC. I was at an ABC affiliate in Maryland. So I probably was watching the ABC, but I probably couldn't hear it because I'm in the newsroom. They got the monitors up, but we can't really hear the newscast.
I can't stop thinking about the fact that we're within 3 hours of the White Bronco. I might have to go see that one day.
Yeah.
Make a little road trip of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
how about driving a White Bronco to see the White Bronco?
2017 episode of Pawn Stars it was on.
Yeah, I remember.
It was
that.
outside of the Luxor Hotel for a while.
Oh, it was? So people go up there and just take a little gander at it.
It was on display in front of the hotel as part of a sports memorabilia exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they wanted to move it inside the hotel, which would have required disassembling it. The owner said no, since they wanted to ensure it was still in running condition. And then I guess that's when they gave it or sold it or whatever to this museum.
I wonder how much it sold for. By the way, outside of the Luxor where the Bronco was Pete Rose out there signing autographs too?
No, he does his he's in MGM, right?
I don't think it's MGM. I think he's in. Why do I think it's Mandalay Bay? But I remember I went there one time when I was in. I've been in Vegas a number of times, but one time I went there, looked in, it was Pete. He was right there. And of course, to go into the store, you have to buy something. He has to autograph it. It's going to cost you a couple $100. But yeah, Pete was right there.
I
wonder what
remember walking right by it.
Oh, I saw Pete. I saw
there.
Pete. I thought it was really cool to see Pete Rose there.
We were staying in the MGM. I thought we were still in the MGM when we were in that area.
I don't think it was the MGM because the MGM's across the street from that area. I thought it was Mandalay Bay, somewhere over there on that side, which is not far now from the new Allegiant Stadium, the home of the Raiders, which is basically behind Mandalay Bay. A couple of blocks. Wanted to remind everybody, Friday, we are taking the show on the road. We're back, baby. Frontier Western Store, Olive Branch, Moe's Burrito Boxes. We'll have them for you, so nobody's touched them other than the workers that made them with their gloves and all that. So it's nice, and you can take that with you for lunch. Come by. Father's Day is Sunday. Pick up something nice for Father's Day from Frontier Western Store. Any info? Still looking?
Yeah.
I want to get our 5 favorite songs cranking here.
There's actually a picture of Pete in a mask and gloves still signing autographs during COVID-19. He's not letting it go.
Saturday, by the way, is the Belmont. Yes, the Belmont is coming first, then the Derby, then the Preakness. It's all screwed up. But we're going to have Jay Privman on with us, who's done a great job years past in handicapping the Triple Crown races for us. That'll be on the program Friday. Tomorrow, a couple of analysts, David Sampson, who is the former general manager of the Miami Marlins, he will join us to talk baseball, and Alan Cavanna from Fox Sports on NASCAR. But it's time now for our 5 favorite songs. Again, the subject is Devil. I will start it off today, then Gabe will follow, and Eli will be last. My 5th song on my list of 5 is Devil Woman by Cliff Richard. Fun fact, met Cliff Richard at a Grizzlies game. He was sitting front row baseline. He was in Memphis to record. He's a lot of people probably don't know who he is, but man, look him up and look at his credentials of how many songs he has written and recorded. But Cliff Richard was there. I got to shake his hand, say hello to him. Devil Woman, number 5. Number 4, Devil Inside by NXS. Number 3, you played it coming back from the commercial break, Running with the Devil, Van Halen. Number 2, Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. And here's my number 1.
The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind and he was willing to make a deal. When he came across this young man sewing on a fiddle and playing it hot, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, "Boy, let me tell you what."
The devil went down to Georgia. It's an obvious pick, but it is such a great song. Charlie Daniels Band with my number 1, The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
By the way, it's both Pete Rose signs in the Art of Music stores. There's one in MGM and one in Mandalay Bay, so he signs at both.
So we're both right.
Yeah, I knew I was in MGM. I knew for a fact I saw him in MGM, but yeah, apparently he signs in different. It's this a store that's in various hotels.
Gotcha.
And so he signs in those stores.
I feel like this is one of the, as far as the devil theme goes, a lot of these songs are going to be repeats. Gotta imagine. Well, for me, 5, I go Friend of the Devil, Grateful Dead. 4, The Devil in Her Heart, The Beatles. 3, your number 1, Greg, Devil Went Down to Georgia, Charlie Daniels Band. 2, Running with the Devil, Van Halen. We came back from the break with it. And my number 1,
allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for a long, long year. Stole many a man's soul of faith.
Sympathy for the Devil, Rolling Stones.
Great song, number 2 on my list.
Not a lot of hip-hop rap with devil in the title.
There's not.
That was a very obvious theme with my list.
All right, Eli.
Number 5, The Devil Named Music by Chris Stapleton. Number 4, Devil with a Blue Dress, Mitch Ryder, The Detroit Wheels. Number 3, Devil Went Down to Georgia, Charlie Daniels Band. I'll skip number 2 for a second. Number 1, agreeing with Gabe, Sympathy for the Devil, Rolling Stones. I love that song. And since he already played that, we'll play my number 2 song.
Weapons, sharpening knives, makes you wonder how the other half died. Other half died. Makes you wonder. Well, here come the man with a look in his eye.
In Excess with Devil Inside. My number 2 song behind Sympathy for the Devil.
Great song. All good choices, in my opinion. All right, what do the listeners have to say about this category today? Devil.
Carolyn has Devil in a Blue Dress. Devil or Angel by Bobby V. Devil in a New Dress, Kanye West. Devil in a Sleeping Bag by Willie Nelson. This is a good one. I've never heard of this one. It's obviously a newer song. The Devil Was My Uber Driver by Eddie Fresco.
Wow.
I'm not familiar.
I'm gonna have to pull that one up.
Yeah, I want to hear that. I want to hear that, a little bit of that.
Well, here's what I know. I don't know much about this song, but I know that this wasn't made in the 60s, 70s, 80s. When did Uber start? 90s. This was more recent.
Yeah, that's I've never have you heard of Eddie Fresco at all?
No. How about a Fresco?
That's all new to me, but yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Skip James, The Devil Got My Woman. Let's see here. Wayne comes with Devil Woman by Marty Robbins, number 5. Devil's Food, Alice Cooper, number 4. Friend of the Devil, Grateful Dead, number 3. Devil with a Blue Dress On, number 2. And Sympathy for the Devil at number 1. Let's see here. Devil with the Blue Dress On. Devil Went Down to Georgia. Sympathy for the Devil. Shout at the Devil, Motley Crue. And Devil in Her Heart by the Beatles, number 1. Number 5, Devil Inside. Devil in Disguise, number 4 by Elvis. Number 3, Devil Went Down to Georgia. Number 2, Sympathy for the Devil. And number 1, Devil Woman.
So, unfortunately, our guy Eddie Fresco with the Devil Was My Uber Driver, let's just say he doesn't have a clean version.
Oh, really?
I will put that out there.
The Devil Was My Uber Driver is a dirty song. Okay.
Eli, the last list you read that Devil Woman was number 1, which Devil Woman? Who was the artist?
It doesn't say. It says Devil Woman.
I wonder if it's the Cliff Richard version. Okay.
Let's see here. Nico comes with Devil Inside. Number 4, Devil Went Down to Georgia. Number 3, Devil's Dance by Rancid. Number 2, Devil's Dance Floor by Flogging Molly.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1, Sympathy for the Devil. Apparently, Tori Amos did not sing any songs about the devil. Somebody comes with Running with the Devil. Let's see here. Number 5, Devil's Child, Judas Priest. Number 4, Shout at the Devil, Motley Crue. Number 3, Race with the Devil, Black Oak, Arkansas. Okay. Number 2, Running with the Devil. And number 1, Devil Went Down to Georgia. That comes from Danny. Let's see here.
The only two that I considered that did not make my top 5, Devil in a Blue Dress. The other one is, and it hasn't been mentioned, I'm surprised, Devil in Dust by Bruce Springsteen.
Here's this one I've never heard of either. They Caught the Devil and Put Him in Jail in Eudora, Arkansas by Tony Joe White.
It rolls off the tongue.
I kind of want to hear that one too. The Devil in Her Heart by the Beatles. Sympathy for the Devil. Devil with a Blue Dress On. And The Devil in Me, number 1 by John Wesley Harding. Somebody says YouTube Sympathy for the Devil live in St. Louis, best version ever.
Okay. Have to listen to that.
Nico says, I didn't think you would accept Father Lucifer by Tori Amos. No, got to have the devil.
No Satan, no Lucifer.
No, we got to have devil. So if Tori Amos doesn't have a devil song, it does not qualify here. John on Facebook goes with Running with the Devil, Sympathy for the Devil, Devil by Shinedown, Devil in a Blue Dress, and Devil Went Down to Georgia. Bobby, Devil with the Blue Dress. Number 4, Devil Woman, Marty Robbins. Number 3, Devil in the Bottle, Hank Williams Jr. Number 2, Devil in Disguise by Elvis. And number 1, Devil Went Down to Georgia.
I have Tony Joe White, They Caught the Devil and Put Him in Jail in Eudora, Arkansas, pulled up for you. This is actually a surprisingly really good song.
Yeah, I want to hear this. I want to hear a little bit of this one.
I was walking down a dirt road
Not bad.
I want to hear get to the whole thing about catching the devil and throwing him in jail.
It's probably never in the song.
He said the whole thing. The entire title.
Eudora, Arkansas. That's just a weird, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't roll off the tongue very easily. That's
pretty cool.
Let's see.
I like the music around it.
Yeah,
though.
really
It's
good music.
Devil's Game by Kansas. Devil went down to Georgia. Devil in a blue dress. Running with the Devil. And then Devil Woman, Cliff Richard, they're number 1, I guess. Somebody brings it Must Be the Devil by Otis Spann. And then a couple of others that do not qualify because they don't include the actual word devil in the title.
Okay. That it?
Believe that is it as far as the lists that have been sent in to us. We do have a couple of folks that have asked us since we did the devil, have we done angels? We have not done angels yet.
We have not done angels, but I think that's a good category. The category for tomorrow, I think, will be a pretty good category as well. Tomorrow, it is baby. Baby in the song. Baby. That's your homework assignment for tonight for your 5 favorite songs tomorrow. The subject is baby.
Does babe count?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll accept babe. Babe, baby, babies. Couple of things before the
Wasn't Sonny and
timeout.
Cher, I Got You, Babe?
I Got You, Babe.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know why I thought of babe.
We say we're young and we don't.
Just want to make. I'm not sure that Sonny and Cher are gonna make my list, but I got to make sure that it qualifies just in case.
We'll have our 4-man scramble coming up in a few minutes after the timeout. But a couple of things I wanted to get to. According to Parrish Alford, big news for Kermit Davis. Callaway guard Deshaun Ruffin, the top prospect in Mississippi, has committed to Ole Miss. So a big commitment there. It's not signed, sealed, and delivered, of course, but a big commitment there for Ole Miss basketball and our friend Kermit Davis. Brett McMurphy's posted the updated odds to win the SEC in football this year. This comes from Superbook USA. Alabama's 5-4. Georgia's 7-2. Florida is 4-1. A lot of support for Florida. Texas A&M 10-1. LSU 12-1. Not as much support for the defending national champions who lost everything just about. Auburn 14-1. Tennessee is 40-1. And then they have a group of everybody else other than Vandy who's 500-1. And Vanderbilt is 2,000-1 to win the SEC title.
Fleet Feet, the place to go to get your running gear, especially shoes, just right for you. You go into either one of the 2 locations. They'll take a look at the way you run or walk and fit you with shoes just right for you based on where you put the pressure on different spots in your foot. They'll get you shoes that are right for you and make sure you're not going to have any problems. You're going to be able to avoid injuries or other problems when you're out there running or walking, or maybe you're just getting shoes for everyday use, spending a lot of time on your feet. Folks at Fleet Feet will take care of you in East Memphis in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. That's there next to Panera Bread Company in Collierville. It's at Poplar and Houston Levy next to the Hueys. They're also online at fleetfeetmemphis.com. If you want to get in for the 4-man scramble, chance to win a $20 gift card to Edwin Watts, as well as get into the drawing at the end of the season for Golf for 4 at Ridgeway Country Club. Yes, that's right. You don't get that opportunity very often, but you could win Golf for 4 at beautiful Ridgeway Country Club. Get on the phones now, 360-8255. That's 360-8255. First 4 callers, you get to pick one of us, myself, Greg, Keith, or Jay. Whichever one of us has the 3 golfers that make the most money this weekend, that listener will get that $20 gift card to Edwin Watts and will be entered into the drawing for Golf for 4 at Ridgeway Country Club. So call in now at 360-8255.
Do you want to give them the picking order?
The picking order for this week is, let me pull that out here. It's Keith, I believe. Let me double check this. I believe it goes Keith, me, you, and then Jay. Yes, Keith, then myself, then Greg, then Jay. Keith has the first pick, but last week he posted a donut, so take it for what it's worth.
We'll have our Keith's listening right now. We'll have our 4-man scramble with Keith and Jay coming up right after the timeout.
Could be due.
This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Anyone who builds, remodels, or repairs for a living, we know the way you work has changed. That's why Lowe's is committing today to build new ways to keep you working tomorrow. We are proud to introduce the new Lowe's for Pros job site, powered by Stream, an augmented video chat tool so you can be there for your customers without actually being there. And the cost to use? Try it free through October 31st at lowesforpros.com/proloyalty. Just one of the reasons why Lowe's is the new home for pros. Services subject to Stream terms. Lowe's loyalty membership required. More terms apply.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hey folks, I'm Jarrett Carter. My family recently purchased East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station, and we're excited to offer the best selection of Big Green Egg and Traeger grills. And then don't forget about our Benjamin Moore Paint Studio and the Garden Center for flowers. Save 60% with our new Duracell key fob replacement program. We have a master locksmith service as well as glass cutting and screen repair. The East Memphis Ace Hardware, located at Quince and White Station behind Three Little Pigs.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
This is Eli Savoy from Sports 56 Middays. Join Greg and me as we hit the road again. That's right, we've been locked up too long, so we'll head to Frontier Western Store on Goodman Road in Olive Branch this Friday from 10 to 1. Come join us as we'll have all types of prizes and giveaways, as well as lunch catered by Moe's Southwest Grill. What a great place to get that special gift for a special dad with Father's Day on Sunday. We'll see you Friday from 10 to 1 at Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, as we hit the road again.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 12:28 is the time. Final half hour and change here on this Hump Day edition of Middays. We got our four-man scramble coming up. And picking up where he left off last year, yours truly, with the first week win. But we know what happened to Keith Penke last year. He won early and then went downhill from there. This time he starts off with the goose egg, so maybe it'll be a different outcome when it's all said and done for our good buddy Keith Penke, who joins us for the four-man scramble from Ridgeway Country Club. Hey, Keith.
Hey, yes. I didn't want to go out too fast, so I was trying to pace myself. So good goose egg was a good start.
You are right now.
Man, could it get any worse?
You are 1,008,000 behind last year's pace, Keith.
That's all right. Hey, like I said, last year I went down in flames, so this year I'm going to start down in flames. That's okay.
Jay, by the way, is tied up at Edwin Watts. So Eli has been given Jay's picks in order. So Eli will pick for Jay when we get to our picks. Do we have any more room for callers, Eli, or have we all four called in? Do you have any idea? Gabe
would be the guy to ask.
Well, Gabe's disappeared. So we'll find out if we have to.
I believe we're all full.
We are all full?
I believe. But
we're all set? Yeah, okay, so we're all set. So last week, the return of the PGA Tour. It kind of started out maybe not on the best note as Jim Nantz goes on the broadcast, and within 5 minutes he's apologizing for John Rahm dropping the F-bomb. Did you hear that, Keith?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's when you don't have the fans around, you're gonna hear things that maybe you didn't really want to hear. Ricky Fowler, I think, was the only one that actually went on with the microphone.
Yep.
He's the only one that said yes to that. But as a whole, I mean, it was so great to have golf back, and it was pretty cool to see the golf course with no grandstand.
It was Koepka that dropped the F-bomb about Rahm's shot.
No, I heard Rahm drop an F-bomb. I saw Rahm drop the F-bomb.
Koepka was the first one. Koepka was talking about Rahm. When Rahm chipped in, Koepka said that's blanking good right there.
Well, okay, but I saw Rahm do that too. So Rahm definitely dropped an F-bomb. No question. I was watching it. I saw it like 3 times. But if Koepka did it too, that's fine and dandy. But Keith is absolutely right. When there's no fans there, you're going to hear an awful lot, even without microphones, with the exception of Ricky Fowler. Because there's mics all over the place to pick up the other sound. But even though they're not actually on the body of a player, it is going to pick up a lot of things that it wouldn't normally do.
So, Keith, how weird was that for you to watch it without fans?
I didn't really truly think it was that weird, to be honest with you. Certain areas, we were talking about it here in the shop. I mean, certain areas like around green, and stuff, especially on 18 at the end. I mean, that was kind of a little weird. But as a whole, because when you watch events, a lot of these events that maybe aren't the U.S. Open, PGA Championship, the marquee events. A lot of times when they're panning in on players in the fairways, you really don't see a lot of fans around them. So in those situations, it wasn't weird. But there at the end, yeah, definitely weird, especially when the last couple groups, when they missed those short putts. I mean, you would have heard a lot of oohs and ahs and like ohs, but we didn't, obviously none of that was coming through.
So a lot of players of note that participated in this event, they were certainly eager to get back onto the course, but we had no idea of knowing who was going to be sharp and who wasn't. And a lot of the big names didn't make the cut, and others that did, like Rory, just was not a factor and ended up struggling over the weekend. Now we get ready for the Heritage, and many of them will have a tournament under their belt. One that won't is Tiger Woods, who's already announced that he's not going to play in the RBC Heritage and had to be in by Friday, so that's not going to happen. But many of those golfers did try to get that first tournament in, Keith, and some struggled more than others.
Yeah, I mean, definitely you had some players that were definitely rusty. I mean, Sergio Garcia misses the cut, which, but Matt Kuchar, I mean, Matt Kuchar never misses cuts, right?
Right, he's like automatic. Yeah. DJ, right?
John
He
Rahm,
missed the cut.
my pick, he misses cuts. Phil Mickelson misses the cut. I mean,
Fowler.
So a lot of big names missed the cut. A lot of players just didn't come to perform. It was nice to see Jordan Spieth out there playing well. Hopefully, he can have a good year this year. And obviously seeing Bryson DeChambeau just absolutely bomb that ball. I mean, he is just gigantic right now. It is crazy how big he is.
It's crazy, like, to see him and how big he's got. And then you see, like, a guy like Gary Woodland who's gone the other way. He lost 25 pounds. But, I mean, DeChambeau is just a monster.
A monster. I couldn't believe how big he was. And, just absolutely pounded the ball. I mean, he was just killing it. And his stats were just off the chart. Let's see. I got him right here. So he averaged 323 yards, 323.8 yards. And I guess there were 13 drives that were over 354 yards, and he had 7 of them.
Jeez.
Just hammering the ball.
Well,
I mean, golf is a lot easier when you're pounding the ball that far, and especially when you're, you're a little more wild maybe, but when you're in the rough and you're hitting a wedge, a little sand wedge or lob wedge out of the rough compared to some guys hitting the 8-iron, I don't care where he is on the golf course. It's going to get easier.
Well, we know that in golf, it's not necessarily how big and strong you are. It's all about technique and about torque and all things of that nature. That's why you got little guys that can bomb it. But in this case, throw that out the window. Here's a guy who got bigger and stronger, and he's hitting it further because of that.
Gained 7.6 yards this year, 7.3, yards, and just huge. And hitting with a 5.5-degree loft driver. That's back to the old days when you had to pull out of golf balls, down that low. I mean, nowadays everybody's hitting with more loft, and then but the way he sets up with the way he stands tall and the way he kind of, almost lifts that ball a little bit. I mean, I could see him using that. But yeah, hitting the ball high with no spin, that's the way to go.
Keith, how do you explain, I guess, just the pure number of 3-foot putts we saw missed, especially in key situations? I mean, Spieth missed a few of them all week. He had the one 4-putt, he 3-putted from 3 feet the one day. But you look at Schauffele, you look at obviously at the end with Morikawa, but there were guys at key situations missing 3-foot putts.
Yeah, it's you really truly don't see that much. I mean, that Schauffele putt on 18, I was really surprised. And then, of course, Morikawa in that first playoff hole missing that. I mean, that looks like it couldn't have been more than 2 feet. And you're moving on. I bet you Berger was walking away. But yeah, it's got to be a little bit of rust. I mean, it's got to be a little bit of rust, a little bit of reps. Not playing a lot of tournament rounds. My daughter played in a tournament yesterday, and we were talking about it driving home and just saying, hey, it's a lot different playing golf with your buddies than it is playing golf for all the money. And, I mean, I don't know the exact number, but you got to think how much Morikawa, that little 2-foot putt that he missed on the first playoff hole, was actually worth. It had to be worth at least $500,000 or $600,000, I would think.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. But man, what a fun little finish there with a lot of guys having a chance to get up there with Justin Rose. Obviously DeChambeau, and then, Schauffele missing that putt on 17 and not get in the playoff.
You could have easily, because what their putts did on 18, but you could have easily had Rose, Kokrak, and DeChambeau also in that playoff. Or you could have had Morikawa just make his putt on 18 to begin with and end it all without even a playoff, because that putt he missed for the win wasn't that long.
Yeah. Now, did y'all hear the stat with Daniel Berger? I thought this was the coolest stat. He had won 2 times before last week, and both times he had won the FedEx St. Jude Classic. And the FedEx St. Jude Classic, the 2 years that he won, was the same week as last week's event. So he's now won 3 events, two different tournaments, and all 3 events he's won on the exact same week of the year. How about that?
I heard that, and it stunned me for a second. Because now we have the WGC, which is at a different time. But you're right; it was the exact dates of that weekend.
Got to enter this in my calendar for next year's picks.
For next year's picks, you got to pick Daniel Berger. The second week of June, I'm picking Daniel Berger.
Who cares what tournament is? I'm taking Daniel Berger. It's his week.
Well, it's a great story with Berger because he had come back since those 2 wins in Memphis. He had really struggled with his health. And he came back, and he was really on fire before everything was closed down. And to be able to open up with the return of the PGA Tour with a victory, that's huge for Daniel Berger. Real nice guy. Obviously had the chance to interview him with the wins in Memphis. But, man, oh, man, it was a fun tournament just to be back, even without the fans, having the names they had. And once again, this week, there'll be a plethora of big names playing at the Heritage, the RBC Heritage. And here's the thing. You talked about Morikawa, and that'll be a tough one. That'll sting for a while, but he's in the field this week. Another incredible young player. So golf, and we say it every week of the 4-man scramble, we're always talking about this. It is in such good hands with so many talented players moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw the field this week is 153 players because of all the exemptions that, jumped that field way up. And it is. I mean, there's just a ton of great players. It's just amazing to think how good you have to be on the PGA Tour. I mean, we've got some great players in this area that have been playing out here at Ridgeway the last couple months with the corona, virus, and to see those guys playing and then think, that they're not out there this week playing, and it's just crazy, just how good you have to be. And a lot of it comes down to that putter, as we're talking about. You got to be able to make those 3 to 5 foot putts. I mean, making all the listeners out there that are amateur golfers, they know if you're making those 5 foot putts, that's the difference between having a good round and a bad round.
And one other thing about Berger, that win qualifies him for the WGC. I don't think he's a top 50 player, so he gets the win. He's in, so he gets to play a track that he's very familiar with and has had a lot of success.
Keith,
I need to mark that on the calendar for late July.
Keith, I
think Dale will come through the phone if I pick Daniel Berger that week.
Keith, if you had to take for their careers going forward, out of these 3 young guys who've all won once, I think Morikawa, Matthew Wolff, Victor Hovland. Which one you taking?
Ooh, wow. I think I'm taking Hovland. I've liked his swing. I've liked his energy. I like how excited he is on the course, and I like to see people that look happy. And when he walks around the golf course, he is just always smiling, always waving to the fans, and I like that kind of attitude I have, and I like that. So I'm gonna pick him based on his personality and his temperament.
All right.
All right, we will do our picks here for the RBC Heritage.
Who was the winner last week? I know I was the winner, but who was the person?
Bill had Greg last week, so congratulations to Bill. You got the $20 gift card from Edwin Watts. It'll be coming your way. You're also entered into our drawing for Golf for Four at Ridgeway Country Club, and you cannot participate anymore for the rest of the season. Greg, it was not a good week overall. Greg had $363,000. I had 93,000, Jay 41,000, and Keith with a big fat donut.
Well, I'll tell you.
I know.
I'll tell you how weird this was. 7 guys out of our 12 didn't make the cut, and I let Jay talk me out of Rose, so I'm so mad. But either way, I had 2 guys right there, and I was worried about Rory. Now Rory goes down the crapper. I'm in great shape. It's just a matter of how much am I going to win by? Is a guy going to win? I get Spieth and Thomas. I don't know how closely you paid attention, Keith, but there was a lot of dudes with red numbers, and Thomas and Spieth were not those players. Those 2 were probably the only in the top 30 that did not have positive numbers on Sunday. So it ended up keeping me close to you guys. So I didn't get out to that 1.5 million, 1.7 million that I was hoping for. But a win is a win. So I'm off and rolling here in 2020.
All right. Well, Keith.
Golly,
since
you guys
got a
just make
zero,
it
you
so
get to
hard.
pick
Of course,
first.
I got to start. First pick. Well, I'm gonna. He's already got 2 top 5s in this tournament, and he came out hot last week hitting bombs. I guess you got to take him, Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, that's he could definitely. Phil Mickelson likes to talk about hitting bombs. DeChambeau is that guy. That's for sure. Man, that's
even though it's not really a bomber's course.
Yeah,
but still.
Boy,
I've played there many times.
There's a lot to choose from here.
There is.
That's hard.
This is really, really tough. I'm going to take Justin Thomas.
Okay. I'm going to take Webb Simpson.
He was a big disappointment last week.
Yeah, but I'm expecting him to bounce back.
All right, Jay, I'll go by his list here. He will take Kevin Kisner and Xander Schauffele.
Okay, back to me. Man, so many good choices. I will take. I think John Rahm will bounce back. I'm going to take John Rahm.
Yeah, that was a good pick on my part last week with him.
All right, I'm going to go with the guy that took the heartbreaker. I'm going to take the young kid, Colin Morikawa. Who makes a cut he's made every cut. He's 21 for 21 on the tour. Might as well take him.
Golly. All right. Well, I mean, I'm going to take him. You guys leave them all sitting there. I'm going to take Rory McIlroy, even though he went. And then I guess I got to take old Jay Rose.
That's probably the lowest Rory's been picked in any tournament that we've been involved in that he's played in.
Still can't figure out how Rory McIlroy shoots 41 on any 9 holes in the world unless there's 35-mile-an-hour winds and a torrential downpour. That still amazes
I don't either.
me.
I mean, but these guys got to be relaxed this week. I mean, they're going to be in Hilton Head. They're going to be just relaxed and enjoying life, and they're going to go low.
All right. I'm going to come back. I'm going to go with another younger guy who he plays every week. Now he's back into his routine. I'm going to take Sungjae Im.
Spell it.
Sungjae.
Huh?
And if you can't spell Im, then you got a problem.
All right. I'm going to take I'm hoping this is a bounce-back week. I'm taking guys that were really disappointing last week. I'm going to go with ATM, man. He missed the cut. He's going to come back and win some money for me. Matt Kuchar.
Greg takes 3 guys who missed the cut last week.
Yep.
And let's see. Then Jay's next.
Nobody takes DJ.
Let's see. Who's Rahm's going. Let's go down his list here. Kuchar. Uh-oh.
He's run out.
Patrick Reed.
Yeah.
Patrick Reed will be his pick.
It came down to Reed or Kuchar for me. And Reed was so good last week. But I'm looking for these guys. Look, they're great players, man. They're all great players. And you don't see them too often have just back-to-back disasters. So I'm hoping that all these guys bounce back. Yeah, I'm hoping they're bouncing back. Keith, tell everybody about what's happening over at Ridgeway Country Club.
Man, I tell you, this place is absolutely a gem. It's so beautiful right now. The golf course is just absolutely in fabulous shape. We just finished painting our clubhouse, so now when you're out there on that 17th hole, we have a island green, 17th green, and when you're standing out there getting ready to hit your first shot to an island green, you're just looking over the huge lake, the clubhouse, and just absolutely breathtaking. It's just a great facility. If you have not been out to Ridgeway Country Club, this is, in my mind, the best country club in Memphis. We're doing all kinds of renovations, getting ready to open the brand new clubhouse in July, and painted that building. The practice facility is state of the art with 2-hole short game facility, huge driving range tee. We just got brand new balls 2 weeks ago, and just the best place in Memphis. If you're a golfer, if you're not a golfer, we do have the members are allowed to fish on our lake. We do have a beautiful pool, resort style pool. So just a family friendly country club. So if you're definitely looking to join a country club, this is the one. And just give us a call at 853-0929 or visit our website at ridgewaycountryclub.com.
Thank you, Keith. Better luck this week. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Yes, it's going to be a great week. Thank you, guys.
Take care of yourself. By the way, yeah, you were right about Koepka, but I was right about Rahm. It was on Thursday. It was on the par 3, number 8. He was caught on a hot mic celebrating a chip in and saying, pretty effing good. And that's when Nance had to apologize for Rahm's language with a laugh of his own while saying, hot mics, that'll do it for you sometime. East Memphis Ace Hardware, 5143 Quince Road, right next door to Billy Hardwick's All-Star Lanes, the third-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Middays. Locally owned and operated, Ace is all about convenience and service. It's about that personal human touch. You don't always get that at the big box stores. Dynamic bilingual employees, fast service, competitive prices. They have a state-of-the-art key center, including rekeying door locks, but also exclusivity on the replacement Duracell key fobs. They got a great program there, and they're going to beat dealers' prices hands down, sometimes by 30 to 50%. East Memphis Ace Hardware is designed for the homeowner. A full variety of Benjamin Moore paints and experts to help you choose the right colors. Ace can take care of your plumbing challenges. They can cut glass for you, including plexiglass, sharpen your lawnmower blades. They have a new garden center. They have the latest models on the Weber and Traeger grills, the very popular Big Green Egg, the best price on birdseed. If it's air filters, light bulbs you need, they have them. They can also repair screens that are torn. Come to Ace for your home maintenance projects. Your neighborhood Ace in East Memphis for convenience, service, knowledge, and price. 901-683-8688 is the number. You can call and find out if they have something particular in stock. They're open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 7, Sunday, 10 to 4. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. We're coming back to wrap it up this Wednesday edition of Middays. Coming up next on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m., Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1. Don't miss us.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Let's say you just bought a house.
bad news is you're one step closer to becoming your parents, which means you're going to start telling your kids to clean up before the cleaning lady comes. Doesn't make sense, but you're the parent and they're the kids. You're going to start telling them that now, too. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance. And there's your opening to remind them who pays the bills around here. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Mentioned earlier that there was a story that indicated the numbers for COVID-19 positive tests in Memphis had come down from an alarming number on Monday. Tate Reeves, the governor of Mississippi, said today we saw 489 new COVID-19 cases, a large number by any measure. I'm concerned that people are losing interest in the effort to keep each other safe. We are all tired and ready to be done, but the virus doesn't care. Please be on your guard. Small efforts have a big impact. And I would agree with those words. Be conscious of other people, not just yourself. Even if I don't want to wear a mask, I'm fine, everything like it. Think about the other people.
A couple of final lists here of songs. Our buddy Zed checks in. Number 1, Devil's Haircut by Beck. Don't believe we had anybody mention that one.
Nope, first time.
Devil in Jersey City by Coheed and Cambria. Sure. Friend of the Devil, Grateful Dead. They caught the devil and put him in jail in Eudora, Arkansas. So second mention for that. And Devil's Dance Floor by Flogging Molly. Bobby from Midtown, Running with the Devil at number 5. Devil Inside, number 4. Devil's Child by Judas Priest at number 3. Devil with a Blue Dress, number 2. And Sympathy for the Devil at number 1 for Bobby. Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
They've restarted the Premier League, and Aston Villa and Sheffield United on Wednesday, after a 100-day hiatus caused by COVID-19 health concerns, took a knee, along with referee Mike Oliver. All the players took a knee as the opening whistle was blown following a moment of silence before kickoff in memory of those who died in the pandemic, but also taking a knee for the injustice not only in our country but around the world. So the Premier League making a statement.
So the U.S. Tennis Association, making its preparations for the U.S. Open, which it still plans to hold, made the announcement that there will be line judges on the 2 main courts, but not on the other courts. They will just use the chair umpire with the Hawkeye computer system on the other courts. So if the Hawkeye thing is good enough to just use, why do you need line judges at all? Like ever? Like why don't you just do away with line judges if the Hawkeye thing is good enough and you trust it enough that it's getting these calls right? And I mean, I don't understand that. Why you would ever use line judges?
Because line judges are human beings who need paychecks, and then if all of a sudden they became obsolete, that's less jobs for humans, more jobs for robots. I mean, we're going down that road, but I think the robotic world has got to be taken with a grain of salt because with humans being, like I said, obsolete in a situation like tennis or baseball, if we get to the robotic umpires and things of that nature, people are losing jobs. And I think maybe that's a big part of it, because I think the robot, and this case in tennis, can do the job. It probably can. But I think it's because of humans. I would imagine that's the reason, because they want these human beings to keep their jobs.
And I don't understand why you're using line judges on 2 courts. Like, so those people on those courts, you're not protecting them as much from COVID.
That I don't get.
And that's probably going to be the main stars. We're the main stars. We're going to put them in jeopardy. The other people, we don't care. We're going to try and make sure they don't get COVID.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Speaking of the stars, Serena Williams has announced that she will be participating in this year's U.S. Open. And some baseball news, John Heyman reporting. The Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred and Players Union Chief Tony Clark had what is being called a productive meeting face-to-face in Arizona.
Hey, there's a new concept. We actually meet.
Face-to-face, 6 feet of distance, I'm sure. The meeting was called at Manfred's request. Tomorrow on the program, David Sampson, the former general manager of the Marlins. He's a terrific analyst. He'll join us for the very first time, and we'll get his thoughts on.
I didn't realize he was on Survivor. I didn't realize that's who does David Sampson. He was on Survivor.
Oh, was he? I don't watch that show. I didn't know that. So David Sampson's going to join us tomorrow.
He wasn't on for long. He was the first one voted out.
Well, he was voted out of the Marlins as well, but he's a terrific baseball analyst, so he'll join us. Alan Cavanna from Fox Sports on NASCAR. He will join us tomorrow. We'll have our 5 favorite songs topic once again. The subject, rather, will be baby. So words, baby in the title. The word baby or babies or babe in the title of the song. Big thanks to Atlanta Falcons head coach Dan Quinn, Javante Holmes from East High School, and, of course, Keith Penke from the 4-man scramble. Jay will join us hopefully next week on the phone. Thank you, folks, for listening. As always, we appreciate all your texts and your phone calls as well. Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio is coming up next, so stay tuned for that. For Eli Savoy and Gabe Kuhn, I'm Greg Gaston. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
Reading me the news while I'm kicking on the